There's no doubt it's going to be really, really tough for both. So it's time now to sit back and enjoy our first commentary of the night. It's Eintracht Frankfurt against Aberdeen in the group stage of the Europa Conference League with Rory Loy and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Kenny. Good evening, everyone. What a noise. What a noise the Waldstadion in Frankfurt is generating right now. And it sums up the task facing Aberdeen as they embark on their first European group stage campaign since 2007-2008, when they got through to the last 32 before surrendering to the mighty Bayern Munich. And it's not Bayern Munich they're taking on this evening, but Frankfurt are a huge club in Germany in their own right. Europa League winners, as we well know, 2 years ago. Champions League last 16 last season. They may be weakened with the sale of 6 key players, but they are still a formidable force for Aberdeen to try and take on as they open their campaign. The Aberdeen fans away to our left, packed in a standing section, singing and waving their arms, but they are drowned out by the flags flying and the deafening din of the ultras in the northwest curve to our right. And Aberdeen, well, Rory Loy, if this didn't sum up the challenge facing Aberdeen, playing in this atmosphere where you can barely hear yourself think, I don't know what else will.
No, you're quite right, and that's what all the hard work went into last year, back end of the season, finishing third for nights like this. Yes, it's daunting. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, you're up against a good side. However, Thomas, you must say that that's why you play football, and they've got to stand up and be counted, be brave on the ball, and try and get something from the game if they can.
Yeah, Aberdeen line up: Kelrus in goal, Stefan Garteman, Slobodan Rubezic, Richard Jensen the back three, Devlin and McKenzie, the wing backs. McKenzie coming in for James McGarry, and there's about to be a minute's silence here in memory of those who have lost their lives in the terrible natural disasters in Morocco and Libya recently, as the Waldstadion falls silent. Our thoughts, of course, with those who have suffered in those terrible incidents. A moment's silence being held here. We're about to get into the action. A roar from the 4 stands at the Waldstadion. That Aberdeen team, as I was saying, Jack McKenzie, one of the changes at left wing back for James McGarry. Midfield of Shinnie, Clarkson, McGrath and Polvara, the other change from the defeat by Hearts. They flank Bojan Miovski up front for Frankfurt. It's Kevin Trapp in goals, Smolcic, Koch and Pacho, the centre-backs. Ebimbe and Nkunku, the wing-backs. Roda, Skiri in midfield. Mario Götze, the World Cup winner, and Paxton Aronson either side of Egyptian striker Omar Marmoush. And we're about to get underway. Aberdeen in their away white kits, all white. Frankfurt in their black kit with red stripes on the top, and we're underway. Aberdeen's Europa Conference League group campaign is underway. This was the rewards for the late surge of last season. Those 7 wins in a row that Barry Robson achieved. This is all what it was in aid of, and now it's time for Aberdeen to show what they are made of. And Frankfurt just controlling the ball at the back. Pacho moves it along to Koch, who played almost the full season with Leeds United last year, 36 appearances in the Premier League as they were relegated, Germany international. And here he is again. Aberdeen sitting in that back 5, giving up Frankfurt their own half. But here come the German side to Pacho on this left-hand side. No way through though. Aberdeen, Rory, doing a fairly good job of making sure there's no easy passes through the lines at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Aberdeen all in white, Frankfurt all in black, and it will be a little bit like a game of chess tonight at times, Thomas, in terms of how they set up to stop Frankfurt trying to break through the lines and score a goal. You've already mentioned it's turned into a back 5 straight away, with Devlin and McKenzie dropping back in as fullbacks. Then you've got the tight 3 centre-backs and Shinnie and Clarkson just in front, marshalling and trying to protect them. So I don't think they've had a kick of the ball yet, Aberdeen, but they'll want to feel their way into this one.
Yeah, a minute and a half played. Frankfurt not across the halfway line too often. Here's Skiri though, passes forward to Roda, the captain, out towards the right hand side, and Abimbe, who's got pace to burn out on that right hand flank. Back to Koch, the centre back, onto Smolcic, the Croatian. Pacho over to the left hand side now, and Nkunku comes in field, and Aberdeen try and put a tackle in. Devlin gets in, they just can't get a touch of the ball as we almost reach the 2 minute mark. 100% possession more or less for Frankfurt. Here's Koch up into the Aberdeen half, looks for a pass again. He has to go sideways though to Pacho, who opts for the little dink into the box towards Omar Marmoush, and it's headed behind for a corner to Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, they manipulate the ball well, Frankfurt, but I have to say, you know, that ultimately the corner comes from a ball, a dink over the top, and it was headed out the pitch. So, you know, Aberdeen, as much as they've been disciplined out of possession, they do need to try and get on the ball. Get a couple of passes in.
It's a deafening din as Frankfurt prepare to take this corner from this near side as we sit. Near post, it's headed away comfortably. Poor corner out to the edge of the box where Roda picks up. Back to Pacho at the back, and Aberdeen have the ball in Shinnie, and he's going to try and play in Miovski, and Miovski was clean through if that pass had found him from Graham Shinnie, but Niels Nkunku read it well.
Yeah, he had so much space to hit as well. He tries to be far too precise, Graham Shinnie. He's in his own half, Bojan Miovski, and Graham Shinnie hits any patch of grass in behind the centre-back, then Miovski's in. Unfortunately for Aberdeen, it didn't work out that way.
Well, that's exactly the type of opportunity Aberdeen are looking for tonight, and they go long again, but Smolcic is back, takes it on the chest and puts it back with the left foot to the goalkeeper, Kevin Trapp. Vastly experienced, second spell at the club after a move to PSG in 2015. Over 300 Eintracht Frankfurt appearances, and Rangers fans will remember him for all the wrong reasons, denying Ryan Kent at the end of that dramatic Europa League final before doing Aaron Ramsey in the shootout. Fantastic goalkeeper, and a big reason why Eintracht have not conceded too many this season. Long ball to Nkunku, left hand side the box, he puts it in towards Mamouche, but well covered by Aberdeen, and it's put out towards the right hand side, and a throw in. Barry Robson, the Aberdeen manager, catches the ball and plays it up. It will be a throw in to Aberdeen. Barry Robson, just thinking, he wasn't even a manager only a few months ago, and he's standing on the touchline now leading his side in a European tie of this magnitude.
Yes, indeed. I think the referee's actually given a free kick there, caught late there, Nicky Devlin, I think. However, yeah, you're absolutely right, and as I've already said, all the effort and time that went into that magnificent run at the back end of last season has accumulated in them being here tonight, and they've got to embrace it. You don't want to go off the pitch thinking, you know, we froze tonight, we could have done this, we could have done that. You know, nothing to lose. Go out, compose yourself, try and stay in the game and see what you can get out of it.
Yeah, goalless, 4.5 minutes played here at the Waldstadion in Frankfurt. Aberdeen have kept it tight, as you would expect. Certainly can't afford to concede early. Rubezic tussling with Marmouche, gets a foot to it, but it's then scrappy in midfield. Falls for Devlin on the right hand touchline. He's not got much space, and he gives it straight to Nkunku, but Aberdeen get the pressure on through Miovski and force a throw in, trying now to pin Frankfurt back. The distinct smell of pyro and fireworks in the nostrils here as Frankfurt go back to Kevin Trapp, plays it out from the goal. The ultras waving many flags behind Kevin Trapp's goal, and it's Frankfurt who come out from Skiri to Nkunku, who gives it straight to Polvara, but Polvara came at him too quickly to take it under control, and Frankfurt get away with that one. Here's Koch, the centre back, crosses the halfway line, left-footed pass out to the right-hand side. Junior Abimbe thinks about a little dribble and gives it back along the defensive line. 4 changes made by Frankfurt. Dino Topmüller, the Frankfurt manager, former assistant to Julian Nagelsmann at Leipzig and Bayern Munich. Not the first time he's been a manager in his own right, though. He was at Dudelange in Luxembourg and took them through to the Europa League groups for the first time ever in 2018. Here come Frankfurt with a long ball, chipped right through harmlessly to Keller-Roos, and Aberdeen will take that all day long, Rory.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, that's the second time they've tried that. Middle of the pitch, a little dink over the top, very straight, too straight, in fact, easy for the Aberdeen defence to deal with. And you could see when, you know, Frankfurt had the ball in their own half, there was understandably almost a little bit of a fear to commit too many bodies to the press. They regained their shape, Aberdeen, they get back into that 5-4-1, And to be fair, in the opening 5-6 minutes, although it's early, it's looked solid.
Ball all the way back with Kellerus in his box. Chance for Aberdeen to perhaps get a foot on the ball. Frankfurt are pushing up, but it goes short to Stefan Gartenmann, who's back with the right foot to Kellerus, the goalkeeper. He's under a wee bit of pressure and decides to go long with the right boot up into Frankfurt territory. Header won by Nkunku, the Frenchman. And then it's miscontrolled by Nkunku. Out for a throw, and it was Pacho that won the initial header. And Aberdeen with a throw just inside Frankfurt territory, 0-0.
Yeah, and you can hear the noise in the background. Graham Shinnie there trying to tell Kellerus something, and you could see he was struggling.
Here's Polvara, got it from McGrath, nice chest, bit of possession, chested ball on. And now here's Devlin right on the touchline, but he's immediately under pressure from Nkunku, gets a challenge in, and Dino Topmuller, the Frankfurt manager, protests because a free kick is given for Nicky Devlin, and it's far from the Frankfurt goal, but this is a great opportunity to try and put one in the box.
Yes, it is indeed. Nicky Devlin did well. Wasn't the best ball into him, kind of bobbled up. He got his body in front of Nkunku, took him down, and as you say, right on the touchline, Jack McKenzie or Clarkson will whip this one in, fingers crossed.
It's going to be Clarkson with the right foot. He's floated it in towards a penalty spot, and it was into a really dangerous area. It's left by everyone, and it's attempted to play back in at the back post, and it falls in for Aberdeen to take a strike, blocked by Pacho. It was Jensen, the defender, who got a shot away. It was fairly weak, and now here come Frankfurt on the break. This is where they're so dangerous. Marmouche, he's got Shinnie for company, and Nicky Devlin comes across really well to make the challenge and ease the danger. 8 minutes played, Frankfurt 0, Aberdeen 0.
What a magnificent ball in from Leighton Clarkson that was. Exactly where you would want it from that position, right on top of the penalty spot. Too far out for the keeper to come. Defender scrambling. Unfortunately, no Aberdeen head on the end of it. And Nicky Devlin at the other end as well to recover and make the tackle. As Frankfurt regain comfortable possession in the middle of the pitch now.
Here's Smolcic into the Aberdeen half. Takes a few touches forward, moves it out to Nkunku, the left wing back, right on the touchline. Controls, moves it back infield to Pacho. And here's Koch. Sprays it out to the right hand side, and Roda, and then it's played in behind for Bimbe, who's tangled. Legs, penalty. Penalty, Frankfurt. Junior Dina Bimbe got in behind Jensen. There was a tangle of legs, and the Frankfurt wing back hit the deck, and there was no hesitation from the referee, pointed to the spot, and it's a terrible turn of events for Aberdeen.
Yes, it is, and it looks a penalty all day long. He catches him, he's caught ball watching a little bit, Jensen. The ball gets played on the inside of him for the wide man to come in the other side of him, and that shouldn't really happen. The space between the two centre backs, the central one and Jensen, Rubezic and Jensen, it's too big, and they managed to get in behind, and there's no doubt whatsoever that he catches him, and that looks a penalty all day long for Frankfurt, unfortunately.
Graham Shinnie was straight across to the Cypriot referee protesting, but when you see the picture that we were looking at, the tangle of legs, and there's just no question that he was going to point to the spot. Just got in the way, Jensen, and that's the threat of Frankfurt. A brilliant pass in behind from Roda, and it's going to be Omar Marmouche who's stepping up. Slight delay, of course, with the VAR check in the background, but this penalty kick will stand, and it's Omar Marmouche. Straight run up against Kellerus, who claps his hands, stands big with the arms outstretched. Marmouche shimmies to the side, going to strike it with the right foot, sticks it away into the bottom corner of the net. Kellerus dived to his right, Marmouche went to his left. Cool as you like, and it's Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 0.
Yes, it's their only opportunity to have scored a goal, and they've taken it obviously from the penalty spot. Calm, cool and collected, slides it into the bottom corner. Very good finish from the penalty spot. Kellerus goes the wrong way. As we see some clips, it's a penalty kick all day long. Just seen it again. Unfortunately for Aberdeen, first lapse in concentration, and it's punished.
It's Jack McKenzie who tangles with the legs to give away the penalty, not Richard Jensen. From our vantage point way up in the gods, it was difficult to tell, but you can see the replay just in front of us, and it has resulted in Omar Marmouche giving Frankfurt the lead, and it's exactly what Aberdeen wanted to avoid. But here's Miofsky in the box, left hand edge of the box, and then the flag belatedly goes up against the Aberdeen striker for offside. But you said it pre-match, Rory, an Aberdeen side lacking confidence coming to an arena such as this against a side with the quality that Eintracht Frankfurt have got. to give away an early goal is such a hammer blow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the principle of what I was saying remains the same. It's just, one further across in terms of Jack McKenzie and Jensen. They do look very similar from here with their blonde hair. However, the ball goes in between the two of them, and Jack McKenzie gets caught ball watching. He switches off, and then when he gets the wrong side of the defender, there's not much else he can do other than just jump out the way and avoid giving the penalty away, which is what he should have done.
And Frankfurt have looked for that ball in behind Jack McKenzie again, and Abimbe got to the ball, but his touch was poor, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But you can see Frankfurt already have decided that's the area of the Aberdeen defence to exploit, is in behind that left centre-back, left wing-back channel.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. It's not the first time that they've tried that pass, and it'll be no coincidence. They'll have done their homework in Aberdeen, and it's obviously an area of the pitch they can exploit.
And there's an interesting one. James McGarry started the last couple, but taken out for McKenzie by Barry Robson for this game. As the fans all around us enjoy the opening their side have made, Frankfurt on their feet, bouncing up and down. Kelarus takes the goal kick with the right foot, sends it long. Skiri, the Tunisian, wins the header, and then it's not dealt with. Marmouche is in behind the Aberdeen defence. He's into the box, he's got Roos to beat. Still going, Marmouche takes an extra touch, and then Gartenmann is able to get back in. Marmouche's touch let him down, and here's Skiri with a strike, blocked by Gartenmann, and away out to the right hand side where Abimbe will pick up. Runs at McKenzie, moves it back to Koch, the centre back, across to Smolcic, and Frankfurt sense vulnerability. Götze takes a little touch away from his man, but then it runs too far in front of him, and Aberdeen recover. Ball out to Nicky Devlin, who gets there before Götze, and it's slid forward, and Koch will collect.
How quick was Marmouche there? He was rapid. Now Aberdeen did well to get back actually and put him off getting the shot away, but then when it comes to Aberdeen, when it comes to Devlin, you're just looking for a little bit more composure. I understand it's really difficult, but you're just going to end up under the cost of full 90 minutes if you can't take the ball under pressure in your own half on the edge of their own box. Try and work your way up the pitch with 2 or 3 passes, because otherwise it's going to be a long night just defending.
Indeed. Voice of Rory Loy there, Sports Sounds. Aberdeen trailing Frankfurt by a goal to nil. Omar Marmouche's 9th minute penalty, the difference in this Europa Conference League Group G opener. Aberdeen under some pressure as Marmouche picks up on the edge of the box, back facing goal, knocks it back to Skiri out towards the right hand side where Sebastian Rode, a veteran German midfielder, a couple of Bundesliga titles from spells at Bayern and Dortmund. And it's back to Smolcic, pings it out right to the right hand side, but it's too long for Abimbe, and it's a throw into Aberdeen on the far side, and just a chance for them to catch some breath, because since that penalty it's been relentless from Frankfurt.
Yeah, well, I spoke about mental strength and resilience. If they did concede a goal, they conceded within 10 minutes, so it is a case now of trying to keep the ball as they lose it again in midfield from the throw in.
Götze on the edge of the box, his pass is cut out by Jensen. But again, Aberdeen just can't get out of their own half. And here's Nkunku, crosses to the back post. Abimbe's in there. Comes out for Koch, out to Rode, right hand side of the box. He's got space if he wants to cross, that's what he does, but it's really high and long out to the left hand side. Out on the touchline, Nkunku's taking a heavy touch, but he's so fast that he's managed to keep it in. But Nicky Devlin gets in with a really good challenge, followed up by Polvara, who nudges it back on the floor to Devlin. Aberdeen with a bit of possession. Clarkson in his own half looks for the long one. He slipped it through the lines to Polvara, but it's a poor touch from the Aberdeen midfielder, and that's the situations you're talking about, Rory. He's not under much pressure there.
No, he wasn't, and Clarkson does ever so well to keep his head, look up, keep his composure and find Polvara. Whether the pass was slightly astray or whether his touch was poor, not quite sure, but the combination of both sees Frankfurt pick up comfortable possession again, and it's not a difficult circumstance to keep the ball there.
Nkunku, left hand side, Frankfurt moving it across the pitch at pace. Aberdeen just shifting along back and forth, and there's another chip in behind, which Rode had a look, followed the pass in behind, and he just didn't have the pace to get there. 32 years old, he's not known for his pace. One of only 2 players in the lineup, along with Kevin Trapp, that played in that Europa League final in Seville 2 years ago. He was ill, missed the last couple of games, but he's been put straight back in wearing the captain's armband, and it was his pass in behind for Abimbe that led to the penalty, the foul by Jack McKenzie, and Omar Marmouche slotted it away to give Frankfurt the lead, but here's Aberdeen. Majowski picks up the second ball. It's now fallen for McGrath on the edge of the box, pulls the trigger with the left foot, but it's dragged well wide of Kevin Trapp's goal. Much better though from Aberdeen. Yeah, and I think there has been opportunities. Obviously Shinnie's misplaced pass to put Majowski in at the very start of the game. You know, they've been up the pitch with a free kick, and that's a chance for McGrath on his left foot. He just slashes at it a little bit, but he's capable. So as much as Frankfurt have dominated the ball, there are things to suggest that Aberdeen, if they can work the ball up the pitch, will get opportunities, and that will take a lot of confidence from that. Here's that ball in behind again though for Marmouche, but it's overhit and Roos will collect, but they're looking for that ball in behind all day. I think they've got the beating of Aberdeen with pace, and it's already been proven on a couple of occasions. Roos with the ball in his hand, but you're talking, it's just that composure, Rory. I think Jamie McGrath had more time than he thought there to get a better shot away, and it's just in an arena like this, it's easier said than done from sitting up here, but just that wee bit more composure needed for Aberdeen in better areas. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think, you know, if it's a domestic game, he just takes that in his stride and tests the keeper. I'm not saying he would score, but you know, that little bit of inexperience at this level, he just gets a bit overexcited and snatches at it. As for the passes that Frankfurt are trying in between the right and left centre backs and the wing backs, I mean, it shouldn't happen for Aberdeen because there's 5 bodies there. They should be able to communicate and stop those passes happening. Well, Majowski almost took it off the toes of Hrvoje Smolcic, and he's taken a sore one in the process. No free kick given, and Smolcic did get it away just in the nick of time from a Frankfurt point of view. And here's, just looking at the replay, that McGrath shot didn't test Kevin Trapp, but Majowski is in a bit of pain here, and that is very worrying for Aberdeen, because he's been, well, the shining light of their season so far in what's been, well, not a great start. 5 goals in 8 games, and if he was to come off here, that would be a massive blow. Yeah, and it's not just his goal scoring, Majowski. I've been very impressed with him. His game intelligence, that's why any opportunities Aberdeen have had to nick the ball, it's him, because he understands the game well, he reads the game well, and he's able to nick it off the toes of Roda, and it'll be a big blow if he's not able to continue, because as well as his goal scoring prowess, he does bring a lot of intelligence to this Aberdeen side, and he's a fantastic player to lead the line for you. Oh, it's a magnificent arena, this, it really is. The noise is incredible, and you can see why Frankfurt, with this kind of support behind them, have only lost 2 of their last 21 home games, and those were to Borussia Dortmund and Napoli in last season's Champions League. The Italian champions came here and won comfortably, but not many teams do in the Bundesliga, or in Europe for that matter. Barcelona beaten here on that run to Seville. Majowski is still down, he's now sitting up. The physios are stretching his leg out for him. At Frankfurt, there's a stretcher actually way down in front of us being prepared, but they've been said it's not needed, and they're going to wheel this off. Majowski is on his feet. Yeah, he catches him. You can see that Smolcic overruns the ball, he panics a little bit. He does get there first, Smolcic, but he scrapes his studs right down from his shin to his ankle, and then hopefully it's just impact and Majowski can run this off, but it did look a sore one. He's putting weight on his foot, Bojan Majowski, as he walks towards us to the side of the pitch, so let's hope for Aberdeen's sake it's one he can run off. It looks like that is exactly what's going to happen. He's not being substituted, he's going to come back on, so that is a boost, and hopefully that won't affect his performance too much. But on we go, Frankfurt. Smolcic in his own half, the centre half, to Robin Koch. Back to Smolcic, and Frankfurt don't need to rush, leading by a 1-0. Omar Marmouche's penalty here on Sports Sound, Europa Conference League action. 20 minutes played. We'll bring you full live coverage from Ibrox as Rangers open their Europa League campaign against Real Betis. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll be with the guys after this game is done. Aberdeen trailing by a 0-0. Rubezic cuts out a ball forwards. It's going to fall for Skiri. Majowski has nipped in and pinched it. Counter opportunity for Aberdeen. They're moving forward. Biowski's coming over to the centre of the box. He's given it to Polvara, who's left it for Devlin on the overlap right inside the box. He's cut it back. Here's Dante Polvara! Goal for Aberdeen! Dante Polvara slides towards the touchline in celebration He's stuck it with the right foot, high into the net. The cutback was fantastic. The Aberdeen fans at the other end of the ground go absolutely crazy. It's Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1.
Well, what did I just say about Bojan Miovski? He reads the pass, he nicks the ball, and not only does he do that, he doesn't rush the next one. He takes touch after touch. He plays in Devlin, who takes a poor first touch, but does ever so well to recover it. Cuts it back to Dante Polvara. First touch, laces through it, top of the net, Don's delight. The away end is going absolutely crazy. It's great to see. And I tell you what, I did say they were getting opportunities, and Miovski is the catalyst, he's at the centre of it. Devlin does fantastically well. Game on.
What a time for Dante Polvara to score his first of the season. And it was calm. We were talking about composure, Rory, and a VAR check, of course. But goal stands and on we go. Kickle. We're talking about composure. That was a perfect example of it from Aberdeen.
He brings it in abundance, Miovski. You know, he's just pretending he's not interested. He comes in, picks the ball up, drives forward. It was almost Cesc Fabregas-like. You know, you expect him to reach the ball, and he takes that extra touch. He takes that extra touch. Then the space opens up. He plays it right on time, and the rest gets done to perfection.
But here come Frankfurt. Roda, ball into the box, and Shinnie was tussling, and he's actually won a goal kick. Really good tracking back from Graham Shinnie, but Frankfurt are looking to just prod the ball in behind, and they've got pace to burn. That was well defended on that occasion.
Yes, it was. I think it was a foul on Graham Shinnie. Had the ball not went out of play for a goal kick.
Kel Roos and the Aberdeen fans in the standing section away to our left behind Kel Roos's goal are still going absolutely crazy. Well, whatever happens tonight, they've had a great moment to cherish. That's what it's all about, these European games. Goal kick. Here come Aberdeen. Jamie McGrath helped on by McKenzie to the Irishman. He drifts out to the left-hand side. Aberdeen with their tails up. Back to Shinnie. Goes back to Jensen at the left centre-back position. Across to Rubezic in the middle. Right-footed long ball. It's asking a lot of Bojan Miovski. It's not going to get anywhere near him, and it's going to go straight behind for a goal kick to Frankfurt. But this place, as quiet as it's been since kick-off, thanks to that Dante Polvara equaliser for Aberdeen.
Yeah, and he's a player, Polvara, that I think the jury's out on. Barry Robson seems to like him a lot, and he's delivered for his manager there. The touch to set himself, the composure on the finish was fantastic. And I really do think Aberdeen will take a great deal of confidence from that.
Dante Polvara, yeah, absolutely rated by Barry Robson, brought him into the team and signed a new 3-year deal a couple of weeks ago. But here come Frankfurt on the counter. Ebimbe, will he keep it in on the byline? He does. The wing back gets it, and he's crossed it towards a penalty spot. Read really well by Aberdeen captain Graham Shinnie, who takes it out of the box, then he's fouled and wins a free kick. Paxton Aronson brought him down, and actually Aronson's gone in the book.
Yeah, bit of a harsh booking, I think. Graham Shinnie reads the game well, and the cross comes in on the deck. He's first out, takes it, drives forward, and Aronson just catches him. Like I said, I think a yellow card. Maybe the referee felt it was a tactical foul to stop an attack, but I don't know if there was enough in it for a yellow card.
Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. Just about 25 minutes played here at the Waldstadion on Sports Sounds. Aberdeen trailing to Omar Marmoush's penalty in the opening 10 minutes. But Dante Polvara, 21 minutes with an equaliser. Fantastic response from Barry Robson's men. A long way to go as Kel Roos takes the free kick. All the Aberdeen players up in the Frankfurt half. Challenge in the air. Shinnie goes up to battle with Roda. It bounces. Great sliding challenge by Jamie McGrath, and then Aberdeen have the ball. Jack McKenzie just inside the Frankfurt half, right on the left-hand touchline. Infield for Shinnie, who was looking to stretch the play and play McGrath in behind, but it was far too heavy for the Irishman. And Kevin Trapp, the goalkeeper for Frankfurt, collects, rolls it out to Smolcic. He's brought it all the way up to the halfway line. He's under pressure. Aberdeen sitting back, but by no means camped on the edge of their penalty area. They're putting pressure on the ball. And here's Roda, infield for Skiri. Back to Roda. And Frankfurt fans,
the pyrotechnic just get thrown from the away end into the home end.
Yeah, the home fans did not enjoy that, and now some of the home fans, well, away fans rather, leaning over the fence, goading their counterparts on the pitch. It's Junior Ebimbe on the right hand side. looks to cross, comes inside, dummies into the box, looks for the run of Marmoush, she's on the byline, cuts it back, read by Jensen, and it's actually out. I thought the flag was up for offside, but it is just a corner. Jensen read that well, but Marmoush again, Rory.
Yes, indeed, and you know, you were touching on the fact that Aberdeen aren't just camped in, and they're not. I've been very, very impressed with them so far. They've defended with a great deal of discipline, by that one mistake which led to the penalty, and they've looked an attacking threat.
Corner to Eintracht Frankfurt, taken on the far side, right foot onto the edge of the 6-yard box. There's bodies everywhere, and it's headed by Smolcic towards Rus's goal, but it goes harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And there's definitely things being thrown back and forth over in that away end, which you don't like to see at all.
No, it's a little bit unsavoury.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
I have to say, the most of the throwing has been done by the Aberdeen supporters, whether it's plastic cups or pyrotechnics or what's going on, I'm not sure.
And it is needless. You can hear the booing from the home fans. It's needless. The team have just scored, they're playing well, and the club will inevitably face a fine for that, you'd think, from UEFA. We'll see what happens, but disappointing. And on we go with play. Here's Robin Koch, centre back, out to Ebimbe, who plays a lovely pass in field over halfway for Marmoush, who dropped in, gave it back, and then it's spread out to this left hand side, and then Nkunku into the box. Marmoush again looks for the run in behind, gets it back. Marmoush on the edge of the D, flying challenge from Gartenmann, won the ball cleanly. Back to Koch. Here's Ebimbe on the corner of the box, right hand side, plays it forward for Roda, who's marshalled by Shinnie and has to go back to Koch, who's miscontrolled that, and it's gone behind him, but he's got plenty of time to go back and collect it. Aberdeen 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 1. Paul Farah's equaliser, 28 minutes played here on Sports Sound.
Yeah, they're good for a mistake, Frankfurt at the back. They take a few chances at times, but credit to Barry Robson and Aberdeen as we approach the half-hour mark, because it's extremely difficult to play this type of shape and be an offensive threat against such a good side, and they've managed to do both very, very well and very effectively. He'll be disappointed with the concession of the penalty, Barry Robson. However, what a reaction that was. Talk about mental strength. They've shown it in abundance since the opening goal.
Yeah, Paul Vara's goal, revitalising them after a tough start. Here's Ebimbe, right hand side. He's so threatening. Looked for the ball into the box, but it's again well read and cleared up the touchline by Aberdeen. Koch sends it back up the touchline. McKenzie with a strong challenge, which the home fans want a free kick for. They're not going to get it. It's going to be a throw into Aberdeen on the far side. 29 played, Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. And it'll be a throw into Aberdeen. A chance to just get a bit of a breather after that last. And let's get the thoughts of Willie Miller, who's watching back in Glasgow. Willie, you must be delighted at what you've seen in that recovery.
Yeah, exactly. You know, nearly 30 minutes gone or so, and it's been a really good performance from Aberdeen, particularly, you know, going down so early within the first 10 minutes, and it would have been easy to, you know, lose their composure, but they've shown a lot of composure. They've been much better in midfield, and they are a threat up top as well. You know, they've had a couple of opportunities, and I think the opportunities will continue to come. So if they can keep it nice and tight at the back, as they have done, then it could be a good night for them.
Thanks, Willie. We'll hear more from Willie at half-time, 15 minutes away. Aberdeen looking to get there at least with parity. And here they come down the left-hand side. Ball into the box. Paul Vara's made a run again, and Nkunku had to hook it away. And you see the attacking intent. Great work down that far touchline from McGrath. Got the cross in.
Yeah, they worked that one really well, and it was a magnificent ball across. Paul Vara just couldn't make up the ground to get on the end of it. Wonderful ball in. Mickey Devlin now is a throw-in high up the pitch.
Throw from Devlin to the feet of Paul Vara. Good strength to hold off on Nkunku. Gives it back to Devlin, back to Paul Vara. Clarkson, a little touch away from the own rushing player, and he's got it back as a loose ball. Cross, did that come off a hand? It was by his side. In any case, William Pacho. And then Paul Vara takes one for the team and fouls Niels Nkunku as Frankfurt look to break up the park quickly. 1-1.
Yeah, I think he's lucky to get away without a booking there, Paul Vara. Not that I think the challenge was a booking. However, the referee obviously sees that type of challenge as a booking, given the one handed out to Aronson on Shinnie. So Paul Vara maybe getting away with one there, but not a bad foul to make.
Here's Robin Koch, the centre back for Frankfurt, out to Niels Nkunku, signed on deadline day from Saint-Étienne in France, scored in his debut against Mainz a couple of weeks ago. He's been up and down this left-hand touchline, as is Abimbe on the other side, and he has it now in field. And it's well won from Aberdeen, and here's Miofsky up to the halfway line. He's got no support, he's got 3 black jerseys round him. Bojan Miofsky's still going, and eventually Smolcic dispossesses him. Just needed a bit more support there, Bojan Miofsky, but a good run, good attempt nonetheless.
Yeah, he's a little bit unlucky. Graham Shinney tries his best to get up in support of him, but the pass wasn't really on at any point. Miofsky tries to skip by a couple, gets by the first but can't get by the second.
Götze onto Marmoush, out towards Abimbe. Jack McKenzie read that well and stepped in. Seems to have steadied himself, the young fullback, after giving away the penalty, which ended with Marmoush giving Frankfurt the lead after 9 minutes. And here come Frankfurt again. Not in a rush to get things forward, assessing their options. Here's Koch out to Abimbe. Skiri, first time off to Roda in the middle of the pitch, out to the right-hand touchline. 32.5 minutes played. Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1, and it's the home side with possession. Smolcic, the Croatian centre-half, out to Nkunku, left-hand side. He drives in field really well. He's got it away from his marker, and then again they look to thread that pass into the Aberdeen box for a runner off the shoulder, but it's overhit and Kelarus mops it up.
Yeah, they want to come in very tight to the pitch, Frankfurt. Both their wide men want to come in the pitch and try and play little passes through. Now, if you're playing against a 3 and against 2 wing-backs who are tucking in to make it a 5, they're very, very difficult, precise passes to make. And you would really need somebody to switch off for it to work. McKenzie unfortunately did for Aberdeen with the penalty, but Aberdeen since then have looked very comfortable, very, very impressed with them, I have to say.
Yeah, Frankfurt, I did say pre-match, not quite the side of the last 2 seasons, but still with quality out there. That much is evident, and Aberdeen have turned it over. Clarkson looked to get that back from Miofsky, but it was well covered by black jerseys of Frankfurt, and now they're on the front foot with Nkunku on the left-hand side. He stands up, Devlin thinks about the cross, chops back onto the corner of the box, and then it's given away to Polvara. Aberdeen clear up towards Miofsky, who's got in ahead of Smolcic and then flicked around the corner. He goes down, he asks for the free kick. The referee is unmoved, and on we go. Skiri to Götze, back to Skiri, 35 yards from goal, into the edge of the box for Aronson, who's dispossessed, and then out comes Gartenmann, looks up, looks to thread through Miofsky. He's got one man to beat. He's up towards the edge of the box. Bojan Miofsky, he's got Koch for company. Can he get rid of him? Robin Koch did really well to win the ball, and in fact the flag has gone up for, I assume, a belated offside. But Miofsky, such a threat with that run. He's always on his bike, Rory.
Yeah, he is, and we are sitting right on the halfway line, and I tell you, I don't think it was offside. I might be wrong, but it didn't look offside to me. It looked like a fantastic pass from Gartenmann and Miofsky. And on his left foot, you're just wanting him to try and bend one into the corner. But again, encouraging signs for Aberdeen. Miofsky's been outstanding so far. I think he was tugged back just before that as well. I did think it was a foul, but the referee didn't have any of it.
Here's William Pacho, the left centre half. Considers firing one forward, but thinks better of it and moves it back. Here is Koch out to Götze, who's drifted out to the far side. He's come infield. It's off to Smolcic. The Frankfurt centre half squeezing up into the Aberdeen half, looking for the ball infield as Skiri came forward from midfield. Clever run, but he wasn't able to collect the ball, and again it runs beyond for Kelarus to collect.
Yeah, the amount of bodies, the width of the 18-yard box is quite incredible. At times Frankfurt are committing men forward, and Aberdeen, as I've said, got a tight 5 across there. 10, 12 players at times, all competing for the same space, and Aberdeen will be more than happy with that, because it's very difficult to break down.
Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. 10 minutes left till the break here at the Waldstadion. Magnificent arena that it is, hosting 5 games in next summer's Euros. Scotland fans could well be here. 5 games, 4 group games in the last 16 game. And for now it's Aberdeen who are enjoying themselves, and they've got a throw in on line with the edge of the box on this near side. Careless from Frankfurt.
Yeah, it was. Clarkson was there, he was present, but he wasn't putting an awful lot of pressure on Roda, who gives the ball away very cheaply.
It's an underhit pass from Clarkson to Devlin, which allowed Aronson to nip in and prod it out for another throw-in. Aberdeen not really going for the long option, flinging it in. It's thrown over to Majowski, who controls it, and the flag goes up against him. And it will be a free kick to Frankfurt. Nkunku takes it quickly, passes it into his own box, where Skiri collects, moves it out towards the far side, where the right wing back Ibimbe controls, moves it back inside the pitch. Aberdeen with a magnificent response after going behind, and there's an injury to Sebastian Rode by the look of it. He's struggling a bit, so Niels Nkunku just plays it out the park, and we'll have a little bit of a delay here. But as I was saying, Frankfurt, they have lost key players. Randall Kolo Muani, 23 goals, 14 assists in all competitions last season, and he was sold for 95 million euros. Jesper Lindstrom, the Denmark midfielder, gone to Napoli. He chipped in with a lot of goals and assists. He's away, and they have suffered in that respect. The thread of questioning from a lot of the German media at the press conference yesterday was certainly that the squad seemed weaker. Dino Topmüller was, of course, having none of that, saying it's time to rebuild, not focus on what's come before and what's been a magnificently successful couple of seasons for Eintracht Frankfurt. But when you're talking about the sums brought in, they've still spent a fair amount, not the over 100 million they brought in, but it would dwarf anything that Aberdeen are paying for players. The undisclosed fees that Willie hates so much.
Yeah, indeed. It always puts a little bit of a spanner on the works when it comes to your research, these undisclosed fees. However, it certainly hasn't looked at the financial disparity in the figures you mentioned. I think Aberdeen, whilst, yes, they've set up to counter-attack, but they've done that very, very well.
Well, Sebastian Rode is not going to come back on. He's struggling, the Frankfurt captain. And on comes Hugo Larsson, the 19-year-old Swedish midfielder, joined for £10 million from Malmo in what was a record fee received by a Swedish club in the summer. He's been a regular starter in the opening 7 games so far, so he was rotated out. But Sebastian Rode, who was struggling with an illness before this game, whatever's happened here, he's not been able to continue, and Hugo Larsson is on, but as I say, he is probably the first choice anyway, so it doesn't necessarily weaken Eintracht Frankfurt as the rain starts to come down here at the Waldstadion. 39 minutes played, Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. Play is back underway again. Here's Götze on the right hand side, 1-2, gets it back, drift infield, but he's pursued all the way inside the pitch by Jack McKenzie, and he has to go back to Robin Koch, out to Larsson. Götze, Koch, right-footed pass into the middle of the pitch where Smolcic picks up, out to the left touch line with Nkunku, tries to go by Devlin, but he's getting no change out of him in this opening 39.5 minutes. Frankfurt forced back, Aberdeen moving, his white shirts just shuffling back and forth across the pitch. Here's Larsson on the right-hand side, checks back, edge of the box, Koch back to Smolcic, and Aberdeen push out of their box once more and try and put some pressure on. Here's Pacho, the left centre-back, back to Smolcic, then over to Koch, out to the right-hand side. Hugo Larsson drives infield, but he's moving away from goal. Then the pass to Skiri is a bit forced, and it's a poor pass from Skiri under pressure, and he's put it backwards and straight out the pitch, and Aberdeen can breathe again.
Well, fantastic from Aberdeen. Götze tries to put McKenzie under pressure by taking him on. He shows him in the pitch, he doesn't give up. It gets transferred the other side to Nkunku. Devlin gives him no change, and I've got to say that if I was Frankfurt, they're not really using the width all that well. They're getting it in good positions, but they're not interested in hitting the byline and crossing balls into the box for the bodies. They want to come back out and try and manipulate it and orchestrate the perfect goal. But they don't seem to, at this moment in time, have the know-how to do it.
Yeah, well, when you think Kel Roos has not had a save to make other than the penalty kick he faced, which he got nowhere near, and that's a credit to the guys in front of him. Still with 4.5 minutes to go till the break. It's Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1, live on Sportsound. We've got full live commentary from Ibrox coming straight after. Rangers open their Europa League campaign at home to Real Betis. But now it's Aberdeen frustrating Eintracht Frankfurt here in West Germany. And Kunku on the left-hand side, touchline, again moves it in field, and the centre-backs who've seen a lot of the ball, moving it out to Larsson, gives it, then makes a run, Götze infield to Ebimbe, who's come in the park, back to Smolcic, still miles from the Aberdeen goal, but that's a good pass for Nkunku to the left-hand side. He's up towards the edge of the box, tries to take on Devlin, gets the cross away, but it's cut out by Gartenmann at the near post, and Aberdeen clearing. Smolcic is under pressure from Bojan Miovski, who looks to very much have shaken off whatever that little knock was that he had earlier on.
Yeah, and for the first time in the game, he was really isolated there. He's waving his teammates forward, but this is a critical period of the game for Aberdeen. You know, after the injury, there will be a few minutes added on, a couple of goals as well, substitute. You know, they've got to see this through to half-time at one apiece, because they've been very comfortable in the match, very solid, and look good. So, you know, you don't want to ruin all that within 4 minutes of the break.
Here's Ebimbe. Scored the goal in stoppage time in the last day of the Bundesliga season to get Frankfurt into the Conference League. Huge goal for them. And here is Larsson, right out on the far side. He's moved the infield to Götze. He's looking for an option, but again he just has to move it back to the centre-backs. Aberdeen just blocking all of the angles for a pass into the box, but Frankfurt are patient. They'll come again. Here's Götze. Shifts it to Smolcic, who's going to dig out a cross into the box. Shot! What a save, Kjell Roos! And the flag has gone up. It wouldn't have counted in any case, although of course VAR would then have reviewed that, so you never know. But what an outstanding stop from Kjell Roos.
Yeah, he doesn't know the flag's going to go up. He's down quick, he's down sharp, and it's the second time that Jack McKenzie's been caught out with that little dink over the top or the flat one across the surface. In between him and Jensen, he's got to be a little bit more switched on. McKenzie's done very, very well in 1v1 situations, and his overall game's been good. Just cannot switch off in those vital moments when players are running off the ball and in behind them. Yeah,
it was Paxton Aronson who got in behind him and got the shot away. Instinctive reaction save from Kjell Roos. The flag did go up, but what a save that was, and that's what you need your keeper to do, Rory, in games like this where you're defending for your lives. And he's not had an awful lot to do, but he just maintains the concentration so well.
Yes, he does, and you know, I'm not a goalkeeping expert by any stretch, but I do know that if it's close to your body, it can be difficult to get down at times without it going in.
And the heavens have, well, opened here in Germany. Long throw, Gartenmann for Aberdeen into the box, headed away to the edge. Shinnie picks up, he's moved it on to McKenzie. He's not got space to shoot, and he's tried to loft the ball in. It's unconvincingly headed away. Strike comes in from Gartenmann. He was on the right-hand side of the box. It was a difficult angle, but the block had to be made. It looked like it might have been hitting the target.
Yeah, I think he slips. I think his left foot gives way. It comes out to him on the angle on the right-hand side, and he goes to plant his left leg to strike it with his right foot. It just kind of gives way and causes him to slip slightly. Doesn't need block though, you're right.
And Stefan Gartenmann is going to line up another long throw. 30 seconds left of the 45 played in this first half. It's Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1, Europa Conference League. It's thrown short to the feet of Polvara in the box. He's turned away from two, and then he tries to dig out the cross, but he never quite got hold of it, and it sat up nicely at the near post for Kevin Trapp to collect comfortably.
Yeah, it's poor defending from Frankfurt. That should never be allowed to happen. You know, a throw straight into your box, straight into the feet of Polvara. He's slightly unlucky, Polvara, in the end.
We've played 45 minutes here. 4 minutes have just gone up on the board. Another 4 minutes to play in this first half. Aberdeen have pegged back Eintracht Frankfurt, but as Rory Loy said just moments ago, such crucial times for Aberdeen to make sure they don't concede before the break. Here come Frankfurt. Skiri, middle of the pitch, 30 yards from goal, facing away from goal, gives it off to Larsson, who faces up the goal, but he's out towards the right-hand side. He's forced back again by Aberdeen's shape, and again they go long towards Marmoush, who gets the header to the edge of the box. It's then headed back in, and Gartenmann's in the right place to clear it long. Miovski wins the header to the feet of Shinnie, who helps it on to the halfway line, and Aberdeen can come forward. And it's Jamie McGrath out on the left-hand side, goes down rather softly, it looked like, from here under the challenge of Larsson, and Frankfurt will come away and look to launch the counter. Skiri, Ebimbe out on the right-hand side, but he's in his own half, and a great pressure from Leighton Clarkson forces Skiri to chop back and face his own goalkeeper, and then it just takes away the opportunity to spring forward. Here's Nkunku, he spotted a great run of Marmoush out to the left-hand corner of the box. Rubišić has come with him in the pink boots. Marmoush, the goal scorer, is going to run at Rubišić, twists and turns, he's into the penalty area. Rubišić stands his ground, he's given it to Nkunku on the left edge of the box. He's got 3 white shirts around him, the full-back, has to give it back to Koch. Pass out to Abimbe as Frankfurt recycle and go to the right, and Abimbe has gone for the cross to the back post, and Nkunku's going to get there, but Nicky Devlin came across and headed it out for a corner. Important times this for Aberdeen.
Yes, it is. Going back to the very start of that Frankfurt attack, I don't know why Jamie McGrath is so insistent in that occasion to throw himself to the ground, because it puts his team under pressure. Fingers crossed they can defend this corner.
Niels Nkunku takes it with the left foot. It's incredibly high. It's over every single player in the penalty area. The home fans cry in anguish at the quality of that corner. It's sailed over everyone, taken a couple of bounces and gone out for a throw-in on the far side. Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. We've played about 2 minutes of the 4 added at the end of this first half.
Yeah, Niels Nkunku's seen a lot of the ball. Nicky Devlin's done very well against him. He's quite erratic, Nkunku. At times he's skipped by players, other times he's given the ball away needlessly, and that corner was, well, the home support let them know exactly what they thought of it.
Yeah, he's a young player, 22 years old, signed from Saint-Etienne on deadline day. Former Everton player, didn't get much game time at Goodison Park though. Went to France, good season last season. That's why he's at Frankfurt now. Aberdeen trying to put the pressure on. Polvara forces Skiri to go back to Kevin Trapp. The goalkeeper takes a touch. He's now wearing the captain's armband after Sebastian Rode departed with injury a few moments ago for Frankfurt. And it's the home side who have the ball in their own half. Paxton Aronson drops deep. And he's moved it to centre-back, Smolcic. Aberdeen with little over a minute to see out at the end of this first half as Frankfurt come forward. Hugo Larsson, the Swedish midfielder, nudges it out to Aronson, gets it back, and it's Skiri, the Tunisian. Right-footed pass across to Smolcic. Pass it with the left foot out to Nkunku. Again, he's going to try and run by Nicky Devlin, but it's tenacious defending from Devlin. Nkunku checks back, and he goes again. He gets the cross in this time, and Marmoush got across. Rubišić at the front post just about, but then it's head off the Serbian defender, and it's another corner to Eintracht Frankfurt, 1-1.
Yes, indeed. Aberdeen feel that was a goal kick. It did look like a corner, and they've got to remain switched on, because this will probably be most likely the last play of the half.
1-1, the heavens have opened in Frankfurt. It's pouring with rain. Aberdeen have a corner to defend. Paxton Aronson is going to take this instead of Niels Nkunku. Skied it over everyone moments ago. The hand goes up, right foot of Aronson into the 6-yard box. It's into the back post, headed down by Larsson. It's controlled by Polvara on the chest, and then he clears it away up towards the halfway line. And that may be that for the first half. Another big defensive effort for Aberdeen. That is it. The referee's whistle has gone. And what a fantastic first half performance from Aberdeen here at the Waldstadion in their Europa Conference League opener. It started poorly when Junior Abimbe got in behind Jack McKenzie. There was a tangle of legs. Abimbe went down, and the referee didn't hesitate in pointing to the spot. Omar Marmoush stepped up, sent Kelrus the wrong way, stuck it away with the right foot to the right-hand side. And at that point, given Aberdeen's form, it almost seemed inevitable, also given the quality Eintracht Frankfurt have, but Aberdeen have been magnificent in response, and the crucial moment came just after 20 minutes. Brilliant work from Bojan Miovski in the box to stay calm and cut it back for Dante Polvara, who stuck it past Kevin Trapp high into the roof of the net and bring Aberdeen level and send the away fans in the Waldstadion absolutely delirious. There's not been too many chances for either side since then. Aberdeen have quite clearly not had too much of the ball. They've looked a bit of a threat on the break, but Frankfurt haven't opened them up on too many occasions. It's so far so good for Barry Robson's men here at the Waldstadion. At half-time, it is Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1.
Eintracht Frankfurt versus Aberdeen.
And it's turned on to the back of the net.
Aberdeen in the Europa Conference League, live on Sports Sound.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Kenny McIntyre. Our first commentary of the day in the group stage of the Europa Conference League. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. It's an 8 o'clock start here at Ibrox. Rangers against Real Betis in the Europa League. Full commentary and build-up to come from that one. Willie Miller is with us tonight. He is in the Glasgow studio. Willie, we spoke before the game. We heard from some Aberdeen fans fearful of what they could be on the end of tonight, but a really encouraging first half performance from the Dons.
A very positive, Kenny. Very positive indeed. I think the tactics that Barry has employed, spoke about it before the game. You know, that needs to be a back five. It can't be a back three. You know, against this quality opposition. It has been a back five. The midfield four have worked tirelessly defensively as well. You know, so has Majowski. He's done his part coming back the park. It has been very deep, low block type of performance. But on the break, you know, they've created a number of chances. They look dangerous on the break. And at times, you know, when they do press high up, they're getting that, you know, a little bit of joy from that as well. When you go down so early in the game, you know, you worry about the mental state of the team, having not performed particularly well this season, how they're going to deal with it. But dear me, they dealt with it, you know, really well. You know, they didn't lose, you know, any of the confidence that they'd shown early in the game, any of the belief, any of the organisation as well. The organisation has been really good. The understanding, they haven't allowed any kind of a space between that back five, and when you get the four midfield back as well, you know, Frankfurt are really struggling to create anything. Mind you, I think Aberdeen will be delighted with the pace that they're actually playing at Frankfurt, because it's such a slow pace.
Quite sloppy as well, Willie, aren't they, in possession?
Yeah, it is, and you know, there is no directness. There's very little width, and when they do get width, then it's not an attacking width. The two wing backs are doing well, although Jack McKenzie obviously get caught for the penalty. And I'll tell you, the Roos save, I don't think it was offside. I think that if that was checked out, it looked, for the angle that I was watching here, that it wasn't offside. So a very, very good save. But again, you know, Jack McKenzie's got a habit of doing that at times, just maybe switching off a little bit, maybe watching the ball instead of understanding where the danger is. The danger is, you know, in behind, where the wide player is coming in behind you. So I think Roos came to his rescue there. But other than that, you know, he could have lost his confidence after giving away the penalty, but I think he's recovered particularly well, and he hasn't shown, you know, any frailty down that side. But you know, it's we spoke before the game, it's got to be one of organisation, confidence, communication, you know, not giving Frankfurt any opportunities, and they've really restricted the home side, you know, to any clear-cut opportunities. They haven't looked that dangerous. You know, they've had plenty of the ball. I mean, I don't know what the stats are in terms of possession, but it's way in favour of Frankfurt. But it's been passive possession. It's not, you know, put Aberdeen under any pressure whatsoever for the majority of that first half. I'm sure the manager will be insisting that they up the tempo in the second half, because really, when you give Aberdeen the opportunity to recover and get their five back and their four in midfield back too, then it's going to be really difficult for Frankfurt to open them up. I mean, they're you know, trying these little chips over the top. And really, if you're playing against an organised defence, that's not really going to worry you, I don't think. You know, it's got to be it's got to be more dynamic. It's got to be more thrustful. It's got to be wide players taking on wing backs. It's got to be runs from midfield. It's got to be maybe even the old 1-2, perhaps from Frankfurt to try to open Aberdeen up. But they're playing in front of the Dons. The Dons are organised, and they're showing calmness as well. You know, they're showing calmness when they're in possession. Maybe early in the game they were too quick to release the ball and maybe not looking up. And if they can show that calmness and try to play through the midfield, then I think they've got a great chance of getting the result. But don't get carried away from it. I think Frankfurt will be disappointed with their first half performance. I'm sure that they'll be up in the tempo in the second half. And it's much more of the same from Aberdeen that's required. Absolute 100% concentration and organisation. And if they do that, then you never know. It might just be a sensational night, because they have created opportunities. And Frankfurt look very, very open at the back when Aberdeen get the opportunity to hit them on the break. So it's all good news so far in this first 45 minutes for the Dons.
Yeah, it's been tremendous, Rory. Really bang on in terms of the stats. 74% possession for Frankfurt, but 1 shot on target apiece, 2 shots off target for the Dons, 1 shot off target for the home side. Barry Robson will be absolutely delighted. I got to see some of the pictures coming into the ground here at Ibrox, Rory. A terrific away support as well. They'll be really heartened by that first half performance.
Oh, absolutely. They will. And as much as Frankfurt have had possession, a lot of the ball, you know, they want to play everything through the middle of the pitch, and that's where all Aberdeen's numbers are. They don't want to get the ball wide, and when they do get the ball wide, their wide men want to cut back and try and come in and play inside with the men in the middle of the pitch, and it's playing into Aberdeen's hands. And I think to a man, okay, Mackenzie's maybe lost concentration a couple of times and been punished for it once, but out with that, to a man, I think Aberdeen have been absolutely outstanding. I really do. And I know there was a few questions about, you know, Barry Robson tactically struggling a little bit at times. Well, in the first 45 minutes tonight, he's got it absolutely bang on. The spaces between the defenders and the midfield, and Miovski's not been too isolated when he has got the ball up front. Been very, very impressed with Aberdeen, I must say. But Frankfurt, Willie's right, far too slow in possession. If you are going to move the ball and have a lot of possession and Aberdeen are going to set off, you need to move it quickly, and they've quite simply not moved it quickly enough, and they do have a mistake in them at the back as well. I love watching Miovski play. You know, as a former striker myself, I think he's very, very good, and he's very, very intelligent. He knows when the ball's going to drop. He did it a couple of times, I mentioned it, and then of course he picks the ball up and drives forward and plays in Devlin, who does exceptionally well as himself, to cut it back to Polvara for the finish. So I do agree with Willie. I think Frankfurt may come out having been given a little bit of a finger wagging at half time, so we'll see what the second half brings, but full of optimism. And I tell you what, Kenny, I spoke to quite a few Aberdeen fans in and around the hotel, in and around Frankfurt, and you know, there's people saying, we'll take a 4-0, we'll take a 2-0, we'll take a 3-0. Well, I'd like a penny for their thoughts at half time, because I don't think Frankfurt have been that much better than them, if at all.
No, it's a very fair point. So far, so good for the Dons in Germany. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. That's the half-time score line. At 8 o'clock, it's our second commentary of the night. Rangers against Real Betis in the Europa League. Lee McCulloch is alongside me here at Ibrox. What are you expecting from this game tonight? We heard from Michael Beale earlier. He spoke with the media yesterday. A few injury concerns. We know that Raskin is out tonight, Cantwell is out tonight. What are you expecting from the Rangers manager?
I'm expecting, with it being at home, first game of the group stages, attacking display. It's got to be front foot, out of possession. They've got to go and win the ball back. I think with the way they probably, overall, how the season started, they need to put a show on for the fans. They need to get the fans on board with them very early doors, because there's been a couple of, let's call it, disgruntles of the management style, let's say. So I think it's a good opportunity tonight to get everybody back on board, to get everybody back on the ship and steering in the right direction. I think it's a really, really big game for Rangers tonight and Michael Beale, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've heard you speak before about the pressure of playing in this stadium. Lee, we know it's going to be a full house. I think just 300 or 400 Betis fans have made the journey, and you said before, that pressure, it's not for everybody, but these Rangers players have got to deliver tonight. It's not been a good start to the campaign, and the next few weeks are huge for Michael Beale and his players.
Yeah, it can be, and I mean this obviously with Celtic as well, that this is a very, very difficult place to play, as Celtic Park is. The expectation levels, the jersey can be heavy at times, and at times when it's not going well, you find out the real character of people, who's demanding the ball, who still wants the ball, or who's hiding from the ball, and you can't get the fans on. And I think there comes a time maybe in the season where you say this could be a defining moment, this could be a turning point for Rangers and for Michael Beale. So what an opportunity to turn the season, not turn it round, but just get momentum going again, especially with the one or two injuries that he's had and the bad fortune he's had.
Yeah, the Rangers manager is down below us at the moment, speaking with the media. So full commentary to come from Ibrox. Kick-off here is 8 o'clock. Willie Miller is in our Glasgow studio for us this evening. Lee talking there, Willie, about the importance of this game tonight, and Rangers just getting back on track this season. My goodness, what a lift this would be for the Dons if they could hang on tonight, because it's been a complete transformation.
You know, I said earlier that, you know, the best performance this season was against Celtic, where it's a kind of a similar situation where, you know, they set out to make it difficult for Celtic. They set out to restrict space, and they looked to hit in the break. They had Duke on for that game. They haven't got him tonight. I think that was, you know, a really positive decision from Barry, playing the four in midfield. And by the way, what a finish from Paul Vara.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to panic in that situation when you've got a huge opportunity, and he's done everything absolutely top notch by lifting the ball and rifling it into the roof of the net. So the manager's picked the team, he's picked the tactics. The tactics have worked absolutely sensationally so far, but there's still 45 minutes to go. I'm sure Barry will be hoping that they can keep up that concentration, that shape. I don't see why they shouldn't be able to do that. The question is, does Eintracht Frankfurt, do they lift their game? Do they be more positive? Do they start shifting the ball quicker? Do they start putting that back five under pressure by maybe having runs from midfield? They have not had, you know, many runs from midfield, and these little dink balls over the top, it shouldn't really bother you know, good quality defenders if they're concentrating well enough. I think McKenzie on a couple of occasions caught, but the rest have dealt with it extremely well. So as far as Aberdeen's concerned, you know, if it stays the way it is, it's a fabulous result. If by chance they manage to get one over in Frankfurt and go away with a victory, I think that would be just sensational for them, and, you know, turn their season round, because the season so far has been very poor for Aberdeen. They need a result like this. They've had a 45-minute performance, but they had a 45-minute performance in Häcken as well, so you have got to, you know, continue that in the second half. If they can continue it in the second half, then I think Barry Robson can go into, you know, the rest of the season, the first half of the season, the games that are coming up, and they're coming up thick and fast with more confidence than the performances so far have been able for him, you know, to show.
Yeah, a big week actually ahead for the Dons. The game tonight, full coverage of their match on Sunday. That is at home to Ross County, and then away to Ross County in the League Cup quarter-finals next midweek. Just briefly, I can give you the Rangers team here: Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies, Barisic, Lundstrom, Cifuentes, Lawrence, he did very well at the weekend, Matondo, Sima and Roofs. That's your Rangers starting 11. We kick off here at Ibrox at 8 o'clock. Rangers against Real Betis in the Europa League. But our starter tonight, and what a performance it's been from the Dons, is in Germany. It's the Europa Conference League Group G. At half-time, Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1. Let's get back to the guys here and see if the Dons can keep up this performance, and perhaps, you never know, even build on it. Aberdeen away at Eintracht Frankfurt with Rory Loy and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Kenny. What a huge half of football ahead for Aberdeen Football Club. This was their reward for last season's perseverance, as they snuck from up down the table to finish third. What a night it's been so far, but still plenty of work to do. Incidentally, Helsinki were leading PAOK in the other match in this group, kicked off at the same time at half-time, 1-0. I'll try and keep you across that, but Frankfurt are making a change at half-time. It's Fares Chaibi who's going to come on, and it's Mario Götze, I think, who's going to come off by the look of it. Well, that's an attacking, well, I suppose Götze is an attacking midfielder, and Chaibi's a sort of winger, but he's more direct. He's a bit of tricks, and he's came on at half-time against Bochum at the weekend in the 1-1 draw, and he made a difference, along with Marmouche, obviously started, but we're back underway. So that's two changes from the Frankfurt original lineup, because Sebastian Rode has already gone off with an injury, and Hugo Larsson has come on. It's actually another change as well for Frankfurt, as Aberdeen come down the right-hand side here through Paul Vara up to Clarkson, the right-hand edge of the box. He's got two black jerseys around him, and he's tussling with two of them, and he in the end loses the ball and gives away the foul. So there's two changes. Götze has gone off, and also Paxton Aronson has gone off, and Jessic Ngankam, the German under-21 international striker, another player with a lot of pace, he's come on. Up front, it looks like they've alternated the front line, Frankfurt, to try and maybe just get the Aberdeen defence turned a bit more, Rory.
Yeah, quite possibly. 14 million euros worth of talent to come off the bench at half time isn't too bad at all, and it just shows you that Aberdeen have only done half the job. Listen, I don't think it's necessarily about turning Aberdeen, because you're not going to be able to turn a team who have got five at the back and they're playing so deep at times. But what they do need to do is try and move the ball far more quickly. You know, Götze, terrific talent, slows the game down at times. You know, so maybe Chaibi can try and take players on, move the ball quicker, try and pop the ball around Aberdeen, because there isn't a lot of space in behind.
Here's Koch on the right hand side, the centre back. He's giving it to Bimbe, who gets it back for a 1-2, and he's skipped away from Jack McKenzie. He's cut the ball back, and it's well cleared by Slobodan Rubezic out for a throw-in on this near side. Aberdeen defending stoutly. Frankfurt are in a hurry to get on with this. It's thrown in by Chaibi to Koch, back to Bimbe, who won the penalty in the first half. There was a run inside from Larsson, but it was cut out, and now Shinnie has it for Aberdeen. He's galloping up the pitch, and he moves away from Chaibi, who looked to perhaps have clipped the Aberdeen captain's heels as he went down, but nothing given. And now here come Frankfurt. Hugo Larsson sent to the pitch. He's moved on to Skiri, tries to pass for Ngankam, but it's a poor one, and it allowed Gartenmann to step in and get there first, but he's only managed to clear it up the pitch, and Frankfurt will try their luck down the left hand side this time. Here's Marmouche looking for Chaibi on the penalty spot, but it's floated straight into the arms of Kelarus. 1-1.
Yeah, Frankfurt, they've changed their personnel, but in terms of their style of play and the way they're trying to get at Aberdeen hasn't changed all that much. You know, losing the ball and trying to force things there, and then a little chip into the keeper's arms. Aberdeen will be delighted with that, but Graham Shinnie, I have to say, a couple of times tonight has shown his experience and his ability to read the game. He's stepped in, taken a few passes off the feet of Frankfurt and driven Aberdeen up the pitch. As I say, I think everyone out there thus far can be proud of their performances.
Here's McKenzie, and he goes long with the left foot up towards Miovski, who is tussling with Smolcic, who wins the duel, controls it on the chest and moves it to Ebimbe, who's just down on the near side in front of us in his own half. He's forced backwards, and then Robin Koch knocks it on to Kevin Trapp, and they'll recycle and play again, Frankfurt. But as I was saying, they're not the most prolific scorers so far this season. Only twice in their 7 games so far have they managed to score more than one goal, and one of those was against a 4th tier side in the German Cup when they won 7-0. So they're not prolific scorers. It's not to say they don't have the quality to score a few here in the second half, but they have struggled for goals, and Aberdeen are frustrating them as another ball just goes harmlessly through for Kelarus to collect, and Aberdeen will take that all day long. 49 played, 1-1.
Yeah, I think, you know, we speak about it week in, week out on Sports Sound domestically on Saturdays and Sundays about when there's big change at a club and a lot of transfer business done in one summer, it can take time for players to settle and things, and that's no different on the continent. In Frankfurt, with all the talent they've got at their disposal, are no different. It's taking a little bit more time to settle.
And here they are on the break. Chaibi on the left hand side, he's moving towards Rubezic on the edge of the box. He tries to cross, it's well blocked by the Serbian defender, and it's broken for Devlin, who is playing it up the line, but Miovski, who's been utterly tireless, is left chasing shadows a bit there, and Frankfurt turn over the ball, and Koch crosses the halfway line under no pressure. He gives it infield to Skiri, the Tunisia international, shifts it to Smolcic, who's getting into advanced positions as a centre back, but a lot of it's just shuffling it side to side at the moment. Here's Elias Skiri onto Koch. Ebimbe has got a bit of space on the right hand side. He's moving towards the corner of the box. He's got Jack McKenzie in front of him. He's going to try and take on the Aberdeen full back. He gets a cross in again. It's cut out of the near post by Richard Jensen, and Shinnie breaks away and wins a free kick, and then he's trying to play on, but the referee's whistle had already gone. But Aberdeen will take the free kick.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it experience, you can call it cute, you can call it whatever you like, but in that occasion, I think Graham Shinnie doing what I said before, intercepting, I think he does go down very easily. He's looking for the contact, he gets the foul, but again, Frankfurt A little bit too methodical in their play, a little bit too lethargic, taking an awful long time to shift the ball from one side to the other. I do think Barry Robson will, use the word tireless there in terms of Miovski's work rate. I think he will need to make good use of his bench tonight. Barry Robson, the mental concentration out there, the physical output. Players will start to flag and they need to stay fresh in the mind as they go into the last 15-20 minutes of the match.
Well, Duke is certainly a player, when you're playing on the break, you'd like to have on your bench with his pace. You might see him at some point. And Aberdeen lose the ball, but Jimmy McGrath goes back brilliantly and slides in and takes it off the toes of Jessica Ngankam. McKenzie passes it over halfway on the left-hand side to McGrath, who goes down and wins a free kick. Robin Koch was late on him. That's another one that Aberdeen will take all day long.
A little bit of frustration there, I think. Frankfurt certainly not getting things all their own way, and there'll be a level of expectation within this stadium that they get a result tonight. And I think Aberdeen have shown good quality on the ball at times, and Robin Koch just a little bit frustrated there. He takes it out on Jamie McGrath.
Yeah, it's going to be a chance to put the Frankfurt defence under pressure. Jack McKenzie and Clarkson are over it on this left-hand side, right in front of us, in front of the main stand here at the Waldstadion. And Frankfurt holding a very high line, way outside their box. Right foot of Clarkson, he's floated it towards the penalty spot. Rubizic goes up. It's defended to the edge of the box, and then Chaibi takes it away from Miovski on the edge of the area, and then it's behind for a goal kick to Frankfurt. But Clarkson's put a couple of nice ones in, Rory, when he's had the chance.
He has, and I think Miovski should maybe get a little shout from a teammate there to let him know that there's a player right behind him. But I spoke about Frankfurt continuing the second half the way they continued the first, and Aberdeen are no different. Pretty straightforward ball into the box. There's a little bit of confusion and uncertainty. They need to play on that, Aberdeen. There's an opportunity here to get a result.
Rubizic wins a challenge ahead of Ngankam onto Shinnie. Nice pass out to this left-hand side, and Jamie McGrath's got a lot of green grass in front of him. He's up to the edge of the box. Finally, Hugo Larsson confronts him. He's nudging it back to McKenzie, who dummies the cross nicely away from Ebimbe. He's then giving it back to McGrath, thinks about the cross, checks back, takes it to the line. He gets the cross away, but it's a weak one, and it's easily mopped by Frankfurt in their own penalty area. And then Ebimbe tries to come away on the break. Good strong challenge from Richard Jensen, gets the ball and nudges it out for a throw-in.
Yes, it was a good challenge. I felt nothing in that. I have to say, I think Gartenmann and Jensen, Rubizic has done absolutely fine, but I think Gartenmann and Jensen been really, really impressed by those two tonight. Defended really well, communicated well, use of the ball's been good.
Yeah, they look accomplished players. Here's Ebimbe onto the edge of the box towards Marmouche. Another excellent challenge, denies them though, and then Aberdeen through McKenzie, clear down the left-hand touchline. Barry Robson tries to control it in his dugout. Goes to Robin Koch, who takes the throw into William Pacho. And Kel Roos, well, struggled to hear his defence with the ultras behind him. Long ball, Ebimbe will chase, but he won't get there, and he lashes it into the stands in sheer frustration at the quality of that pass. And that, mentally, when you see things like that, Rory, that must be a sort of win in your mind as an Aberdeen player. You see one of Frankfurt's more threatening players just lashing the ball away in pure frustration.
Well, I touched on it just a second ago with Robin Koch when he came out and caught Jamie McGrath. He wiped him out the game. And it's just, as I said, it's just frustration. Aberdeen are showing that they're a good side, and let's be honest, Frankfurt would have expected to win this game comfortably, and it's not going that way. It's not going all their own way at all. And Mbembe mirroring Koch's frustrations and kicking the ball away. I'm very surprised he didn't get booked for that, to be fair.
And it's given away by Ngankam to the backpedaling Jamie McGrath. He goes back to Jensen, is under pressure from Ngankam, goes back to Roos, who puts the foot through it. Ngankam closing in. Aberdeen 55 nearly played here in Frankfurt, and it's Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1, live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, BBC Sounds online. Full commentary to come from Ibrox. 8 o'clock kick-off in the Europa League. Rangers against Real Betis. What we've got, 35 minutes plus whatever stoppage time is played, and Frankfurt playing out from their own box, and McGrath looked to intercept the pass, and it's played away, and now Ebimbe will try and counter, but he's followed right across the pitch brilliantly by McKenzie, and it means he has to go sideways across to Larsson, and Aberdeen now have everyone back behind the ball. Really good work rate from McKenzie. Now Shinnie's filled in for him in the left wing back position. He's come across to meet Omar Marmoush, opened the scoring in the 11th minute with that penalty, and he's went for a cross, and again he's just smashed it miles behind the goal. Totally and utterly harmless. Delivery from Frankfurt has not been great, and Aberdeen are going to make a change, and it's going to be Duk for Miovski. Rory Law, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I mean, it is a very, very difficult shift for Miovski. He has had a lot of joy with the ball, you know, thanks to his tireless running and his effort and his work rate. I just wonder whether he's still feeling the effects of that knock earlier on, because I'd have been tempted to keep him on for a little bit longer. You know, we're just approaching the hour mark. It would have been nice to get a little bit more out of him. But Duk, listen, he's very capable. He's not shown it too much this season, but what a night, what a stadium, and what a stage to do it.
PAOK have equalised against Helsinki in Finland, so it's 1-1 in the other game in this group, 1-1 here, and Aberdeen come forward. Clarkson was looking for the run of Nicky Devlin, but it was intercepted. Frankfurt have it in their own half. Huge week for Aberdeen. They go to Ross County on Sunday in the league, obviously sitting second bottom with just 2 points and out a win, and then away to Ross County on Wednesday night in the League Cup quarter-final, another massive game before they go to Ibrox, and then they play Helsinki in this competition at home. And now Frankfurt spring forward, and it's a chance saved by the feet of Kjell Roos, and that is the threat Frankfurt composed, but the flag did again belatedly go up for offside. Again, when he was called upon, Kjell Roos did the business.
Yeah, he's very, very quick with his flag, this linesman, to get it up after the play's broken down. It didn't look offside again to me, and Kunku's run looked good. Nicky Devlin scrambling back. Kjell Roos does make the save, as you say there, Thomas. You are going to need your goalkeeper on nights like this, and he stepped up to the plate a couple of times.
Kjell Roos over the free kick outside his area. Aberdeen with the bodies forward, right foot long up towards the edge of the Frankfurt box. McGrath was there, but it didn't reach him. Frankfurt clear. It's now with McKenzie, left hand side, just inside the Frankfurt half. He's put up the touchline. First touch for Duk, but he's dispossessed by a strong challenge by Ebimbe, who's played a neat pass up to Ngankam, who's dropped in, back to Skiri, back to Pacho. Opens up the pitch as they go left, and it's an overhit pass, but Nkunku will manage to claim it on the touchline. Aberdeen back in their shape once more, though. Good recovery from the Dons, and it's fired out to the right hand side, and Abimbe's touch is poor, and it's straight out for a throw-in. And just listen to the frustration all around us, Rory.
Yes, it's actually because the ultras, as they're called these days, or the supporters at the far end with the flags, they make so much noise that it's actually difficult to hear when the Frankfurt fans aren't particularly happy. But on that particular occasion, that's happened one too many times. It's just really, really poor control from Bembe, and it goes out the pitch. Shouldn't really be happening at this level of football, such basic mistakes, and you know, you've got to put that down to Aberdeen as well.
Here is off the centre half. Willian Pacho in the centre circle. Aberdeen just back in their shape, that back five. It's Frankfurt try and probe, try and get away through. They've only managed it on a couple of occasions. One of them led to the penalty, which led to the opening goal. And here is the scorer, Marmoush, on the right hand side, and he's got away from McGrath, who's hacked him down right on the byline. Clear free kick, and Aberdeen will have to defend a free kick on this right hand side, right on the byline, and it's a late challenge from McGrath. A tired one maybe, Rory?
Well, possibly, but that's the difference between a Jack McKenzie or a Nicky Devlin standing up and jockeying to the touchline, and the difference between a more forward thinking player diving in when it's not on to do so, when he probably didn't need to, and he's put his team under a little bit of pressure here. But you're quite right, Thomas, it was a clear foul.
Faraj Chaibi is going to take right on the touchline with a right foot. Frankfurt have everyone up. 2 players on the edge of the box, 3 players on the edge of the box, and everyone else is in the penalty area. Chaibi doesn't beat the first man, but the header is up into the box, and it's not entirely convincing. Aberdeen eventually get it away. Shinnie tries with a stretch leg on the edge of the box, but Marmoush collects it. He's shimmied away from one, he's fired in across the back post. Pacho's there, Chaibi heads it across goal, and Stefan Gartenmann had to hook it away. And Aberdeen living slightly dangerously, but good defending.
Yes, turning the screw a little bit now, Frankfurt. they're far more willing now to put balls into the box than they were before. It's causing a little bit of uncertainty in that Aberdeen back five.
Jaibi, right-footed corner on this near side header, it's in the back of the net. Frankfurt have scored. It's devastating for Aberdeen. The ball comes in with a right foot and it's just glanced across Kjell Roos into the far corner, and Frankfurt restore their lead. They lead Aberdeen by 2-1.
Yeah, they do. And as good as they've been in open play, Aberdeen, concentration, with the ball, without the ball, jockeying from side to side consistently for an hour. They lose a goal from a corner. I have to say, it is a wicked delivery into the box. It was from the initial free kick, sorry. It was a wicked ball into the box by the substitute Jaibi. And it's a wonderful header from Robin Koch, I must say, into the far corner to give Frankfurt the lead. But the nature of the goal will be such a frustration to Barry Robson after such a good defensively minded display thus far.
It's a terrific run from Robin Koch, just across his man and just nudges it, flicks the head, flexes those neck muscles and puts it into the bottom corner of the net. Let's get the thoughts of Willie Miller back in Glasgow.
Well, so disappointing to lose from the corner kick. He is a centre back, he is tall, he should have been picked up, he wasn't picked up, he lost his man, he got himself free and he's glided it into the far corner. It is heart-wrenching for Aberdeen, but when you're not organised at set pieces as they weren't on that occasion, then you pay the penalty and it's 2-1.
And Frankfurt come again, good challenge. But here goes Larsson with a long-range effort, and Roos has to beat it away past his post. And Frankfurt smell blood here, and this place is making an almighty din.
Yeah, well, the tails are up, the place is rocking, Thomas. And it's a good save from Kjell Roos, it had to be. And they will face another corner now, as Frankfurt have a man down injured, back in their own half.
Yeah, man down in their own half, receiving treatment. Kevin Trapp's over, incidentally. It's 1-1 in the other game in this group. Still Helsinki and Pauk. Aberdeen now trailing after that Robin Koch header, after doing so many of the hard yards. And it's flashed up as well on the screen in front of us that Stefan Gartenmann has been booked as well for something or other. That's Willian Pacho, the centre-back for Frankfurt, who's getting some treatment, but he looks to be okay, and he's going to come up and join his teammates as they prepare to take a corner. And the mood in this place is utterly transformed. So much frustration as Aberdeen did so well to make things difficult, but conceding from a set piece, frustrating for Aberdeen. And now they've got to defend another one, and it's the same man who delivered before, Chaibi. This time it doesn't beat the first man at the near post, McGrath, who heads it away. And it's back to Nkunku, who's going to put it back in with the left foot up towards Ngankam. Good defending from Gartenmann, who heads it away again for a corner on the far side. Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1, 63.5 played. Yeah,
it's literally like Frankfurt have decided after 10 minutes of trying the same passes that weren't working, just to go much more direct. And unfortunately for Aberdeen, it seems to have worked. They've conceded numerous corners since, conceded a goal since, and they're going to have to be at their height of concentration here to stop a third going in.
Corner on the far side, this time for Frankfurt. Aberdeen can't get out their own half now. Cross comes in, but it's straight down Roos's throat, and he collects it comfortably. And now it's interesting to see how Aberdeen can respond and try and test Kevin Trapp and the other goal, because they've not managed to do so in this second half.
Yeah, well, they've got to try and just maintain what they did in the first half when they went 1 goal down. They're now 2-1 down, and I still believe this Frankfurt defence will give them opportunities if they can get the ball up the pitch and keep the ball moving like they did in the first half. We just need Duk to perform in the way Majowski did. Different qualities, of course, but just as capable. But, he needs to turn up now. We're a good bit into the season.
Polvara wins the ball in the Frankfurt half, but it doesn't fall kindly for Clarkson, and he is dispossessed. And now Frankfurt have the ball again, and suddenly a few Aberdeen legs that are maybe full of energy before start to feel heavy as they chase the ball, try and get it off Frankfurt. They need a chance. Can they create something, anything? Here come Frankfurt. Ebimbe on the right hand side, he's come infield Again, he's got a white wall in front of him, gives it to Larsson. Infield from the right to Skiri, gives it back to Larsson. Right-footed pass across to the centre circle where Pacho, now recovered from that brief injury, collects, gives it to Smolcic out to the left-hand side. And Marmoush gets it back. And Kunku's made a run, he's going to collect this on the left-hand touchline. Gartenman has gone across, he's made a really good tackle, Stefan Gartenman, and then it's not cleared though, and then it's going to fall for Ngankam in the Aberdeen box. He's slipped away from one, and then a desperate challenge from Nicky Devlin. He got the ball, the home fans are screaming for a penalty, as is Ngankam, but Devlin got the ball and he had to. Danger's not done, goes behind for a corner, and the pressure is really on now.
Yes, it is indeed. He did get the ball, you're absolutely right, it was never a penalty. Tired legs out there now for Aberdeen, and it's not just that, Thomas. At one each, you know, that run to close your man down, you know, doesn't seem quite as long, but, you know, being 2-1 down and knowing you need to get a goal up the other end, psychologically it becomes more difficult. Your legs start to get tired, as I think it's Polvara's down getting treatment for cramp. It's just going to be a case of digging in for Aberdeen for 25 minutes and hoping an opportunity comes their way and that they're able to take it.
Well, there's going to be another change, the final one for Frankfurt, and it's Ansgar Knauf, who played in that Europa League final win a couple of seasons ago. It's going to replace Niels Nkunku, who has not always shown quality with his delivery, but he's worked so hard getting up and down that left-hand touchline, and he wanders off, and Ansgar Knauf, the former Dortmund player, trots onto the pitch, and you can see Barry Robson a few moments ago in earnest conversation with his assistant Steve Agnew. The Aberdeen are going to make a couple of changes as well. Connor Barron is being readied, as is Ryan Duncan. They're not going to be able to make them before this corner is taken. Flashes up on the screen, 55,500, full house. Corner comes in, Roos punches it. Good strong goalkeeping from the Dutchman. Larsson collects, and Frankfurt just keeping their foot to the floor after getting their noses back in front thanks to that Robin Koch header on 61 minutes. It's knocked the stuffing out of Aberdeen to some extent. They're still keeping their shape, but they're not getting up the pitch too often. Here's Larsson, right hand side, infield for Koch, who grabbed that vital second with a lovely header. Here is Marmoush, back to Koch, across to Pacho, the Ecuadorian centre half, on to Smolcic, right over to the left hand touch where Knauf gets a first touch, back to Smolcic. Aberdeen, Duke's not really had a sniff since he replaced Miovski.
No, he hasn't. I do think in terms of playing that one up top, Miovski probably does do it better. But it'll be interesting to see or to hear whether it was a tactical switch at that particular time or whether he was feeling the effects of that knock in the first half. I thought he was having a good game, Miovski, he was playing well.
Yeah, and Duke did get a touch there as Gartenman cleared, but it came at him quickly, tried to take it on the turn, which was a clever thing to do, but he couldn't take it under his spell, and Frankfurt were able to take the ball off him, and they have the ball again. 69 played. Eintracht Frankfurt lead Aberdeen by 2-1. Live on Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland Extra, BBC Sounds online. Commentary from Ibrox to come at 8 o'clock. Rangers Real Betis, but here come Frankfurt. Marmoush pods it through, deflected. McKenzie clears in from inside the box, out for a throw in on this near side. And Aberdeen very much under pressure, can't get out their own half really. I wonder, as you said, Rory, if they might think about bringing on someone to try and support Duke up top.
Yeah, possibly. I think they need a little bit more energy in the midfield as well now. I think that's why Connor Barron's maybe coming on. You need to rejuvenate their energy levels.
And Gankam's flicked header wide. Roos just stood and watched it. He was comfortable, it was going wide. It did go well past his left-hand post. A little back header from the Germany under 21 international. And it's going to be a triple substitution for Aberdeen. Connor Barron, Ryan Duncan and Johnny Hayes are going to come on. Johnny Hayes, such experience, of course, along with two young players. It's going to be Polvara, who's going to be one of those to make way. Clarkson's going to be another to make way. And is it Graham Shinney as well, who's coming across. Yeah, looks like it. Graham Shinney, the captain, will make way. So fresh legs, the order of the day for Barry Robson and Aberdeen as they try and get back on level terms for the second time.
Yes, I do believe that they're capable of causing Frankfurt problems. We've seen that throughout the match. However, in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they haven't really been able to do so. And I think that comes down to a little bit of fatigue and tiredness. So I think Barry Robson's timed that well in terms of giving the players who are coming on enough time to make an impact in the game. To get a little bit of fresh legs in there, increase the energy levels and put Frankfurt under a little bit more pressure.
And here's Duke wins a flick on, and then Johnny Hayes goes after it, but good strong defending by William Pacho to just hold off Hayes as it trundled behind for a goal kick. Johnny Hayes' 40th European appearance, 333rd Aberdeen appearance, level with Stuart Kennedy in the overall list, not far off the top 20. Servant he's been. Can he make an impact along with Barron and Duncan, who've just come off the bench for Aberdeen, who trail by 2-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt in Group G in the Europa Conference League. 71.5 played. Frankfurt with the ball in their own half. Skiri with the right foot, he's gone in behind for Ngankam, looked offside, flag stays down for now. Ngankam's into the box on the right hand side, back heel, checks inside, and then Aberdeen get back. Ryan Duncan, or Richard Jensen in fact, gets back to hack it away, and the flag belatedly goes up against Ngankam. Frankfurt lead by 2-1.
Yeah, Ngankam did look offside that time. I must say, the linesman's been, in my opinion, potentially wrong a couple of times, but there, I think he gets it spot on. But the free kick certainly shouldn't be being taken back in the box where Kelrus has got it. It should be up near the halfway line as he picks the ball up and comes up the pitch now. But it'll be interesting to see what Aberdeen do once the shape settles down. It looks like a 3-4-3 to me. Nicky Devlin and Johnny Hayes either side of Connor Barron and Jamie McGrath, and Ryan Duncan up in support of Duke on one side.
Kellerus goes long with a free kick. Duke was out jumped, and here's Rubizic with the header on the halfway line. Aberdeen within the flick on McGrath, and he has actually won a free kick, Jamie McGrath, and that means Aberdeen will have a free kick in a fairly central position, just in line with the centre circle in the Frankfurt half. Need to try and make the most of this. No Leighton Clarkson, who's delivered the last two quite well.
Yeah, it's interesting to see as well. Johnny Hayes has went out to the right hand side. Of the three, want him cutting in on his left foot, potentially getting shots away, try and test this shaky defence of Frankfurt. Certainly at times they're prone to mistakes, that's for sure.
Duncan's free kick with a left foot, he's floated it towards right hand side of the box. It falls for Barron, takes a touch, plucks out the sky nicely, moves it on, and then a cross comes in, but there's no one in a white shirt near Robin Koch as he heads away, and then Aberdeen players taking a sore one right on the far side, and
certainly looked a foul, I thought.
Yeah, it's Gartenmann, Stefan Gartenmann. He's walking gingerly.
He's been good tonight, Gartenmann, very good, impressed.
Yeah, his second start, first at Tynecastle on Sunday on loan from Midtjylland, the Danish side, and he actually played in He actually played in the Conference League playoff round for that side. And Aberdeen with a throw in just inside the Frankfurt half, and a chance to try and just create something. If they can get one chance in the final 16 minutes plus added time of this game. It goes long, but Frankfurt clear relatively comfortably. Aberdeen secure the ball. No, it's a foul actually from Rubizic, and Frankfurt go quickly with a free kick.
Yeah, the referee there, I was about to try and pronounce his name, but he's Cypriot, and it doesn't look particularly easy to do, so I'll just say the referee went across to the touchline and booked somebody in the Aberdeen dugout. Who it was, I'm not quite sure. It's my understanding that it's the manager who gets booked if there's any difficulties going on in the dugout, so it didn't look like he was pointing at Barry Robson, but
yeah, I think if they can't identify who said what, then it's the manager who gets the booking, but if they know who it is, then they can give them the card. UEFA clamping down on player and manager behaviour towards officials this season, so probably no surprise they're quick with the cards. Frankfurt, Kevin Trapp, the goalkeeper, who's been a spectator in this second half, you have to say, and here's Koch, scored that crucial second goal. Fantastic header, 61 minutes, that's what separates the sides at the moment. Oh, and there's a slip in midfield, and Barron will pounce on halfway. He's going to play in, Johnny Hayes on the right hand side, he gets the touchline, tries to cross, and he's won a corner here, Johnny Hayes. That's what Aberdeen need to do, Rory Lloyd.
Yes, indeed. Ryan Duncan's going to go across to take it, and the delivery needs to be good. I do think that the substitutes have made a difference, not in terms of quality necessarily, that would be harsh when the players went off, just in terms of energy levels and fresh legs. As the Frankfurt players fans try their best to put Ryan Duncan off.
Yeah, the jeers and whistles raining from the stands. Duncan crosses right into the 6-yard box, header, and it's over the top of the crossbar. Oh, it looked like Richard Jensen who got underneath it. It was a difficult one, and it flew over the bar for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a good delivery. It was always going to be difficult for Jensen to try and navigate that one on target. Would have needed his neck muscles to really do the work there. He wasn't quite able to.
Aberdeen trailing Frankfurt 2-1, 76 minutes played here at the Waldstadion. Such an atmospheric ground. Here's Omar Marmoush, shakes off Devlin, and he's moved it out to the left-hand corner of the box, where Ansgar Kauf comes in, takes a strike. Roos down low to his left to save, and then Rubizic is onto the loose ball to stick it out for a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, look, the game's going to become stretched. If Aberdeen want to try and get anything out of this and get an equaliser, they're going to have to take the risk of potential chances at the other end. But they've got a keeper in Kel Roos who's capable of making saves, and he makes another one there.
Frankfurt trying to get the third goal and the 2-goal advantage, which would surely kill Aberdeen's resistance. As Aberdeen make another change, Esther Sockler is on in attack. Jamie McGrath makes way. Fantastic shift from Jamie McGrath, and Esther Sockler is on to play up top and try and give some support to Duke and see if Aberdeen can create the opportunity to get themselves level for the second time this evening. Here's Willian Pacho, Frankfurt centre half, pass forward to Marmoush, who twists and turns. Johnny Hayes has dispossessed him, and now it's away for Duncan. Aberdeen are on the counter-attack, but it's a pass that's fired far too quickly at Duke, and it was just straight out for a throw, and it just needed a touch of composure from Ryan Duncan to just pass it along the deck to Duke, and the chance is gone.
Yes, it went really poor pass from Ryan Duncan. Aberdeen have changed their shape again. 4 at the back, 2 sitting, and it looks like Duke's been moved out to the left, and Sockler will play through the middle with Johnny Hayes on the right now. Looks more of a 4-3-3.
Here go Frankfurt, picked up in the midfield. Jensen, good pass to Rubizic, fired into midfield, and Duncan, another poor pass from Ryan Duncan, gives the ball away. Just needs to try and regain his composure. Ryan Duncan, he's a young player, and Aberdeen need to make it stick when they get the chance, because Frankfurt don't give it away too often. And here's Knauf in the left wing back area, midway through the Aberdeen half. He's well up the pitch, gives it back though to Smolcic, then to Pacho, onto Koch. Forward pass for Hugo Larsson, the 19-year-old Swedish midfielder. Lovely turn away from Jensen into the edge of the box, where Marmoush collects, gives it off to Larsson, thinks about the shot, then gives it off to the left-hand side, and Knauf comes back in on the right foot. He's dinked into the back post where Ibimbe was coming in, but it's a good defensive header from Jack McKenzie to nudge it away, and then Duke's come back to prevent the corner, but then he's lost out to Ibimbe, who's on the touchline, and then he's tried to turn away from Duke, and he's turned out the pitch. Goal kick Aberdeen, 79 played. It's Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, too much of a risk from Duke there, I have to say. But he does well to recover the situation, and Chris Valantis Thioli gives the goal kick. How's that for you, Thomas?
You've been practicing that for the last couple of minutes. I've seen you sitting mouthing
I have.
off mic.
Wrote it down word for word as well.
Phonetic spelling.
Yeah,
referee, a Cypriot referee, who's had good control of this game, you'd have to say. Not too many contentious calls, as Kel Roos takes the goal kick. Tick towards the 80th minute. It's long with the right foot from Roos. Esther Sockler goes up. Duncan will go up with a follow-up header. It's one towards Duke, but he won't get there. Instead, Frankfurt clear it up the right-hand side. It's good defending from Jensen, who comes across and clears it downfield. Then Aberdeen have turned over the ball. And it's a pass in behind. Flag's gone up in any case against Aberdeen. Offside. And it'll be a free kick to Eintracht Frankfurt. And Aberdeen, all the fans who were jumping for joy in the first half after their sides got themselves level through Dante Polvara's brilliantly taken goal. Are very quiet and subdued over there, but their team have given them a performance to be proud of.
Yeah, I still think there's a chance in that. There's 10 minutes left, and as the game goes on, I do think they'll give up chances at the other end, but I think there's one more chance and one or more opportunity in this for Aberdeen.
Here's Marmouche,
at least,
who scored that opener from the spot after 11 minutes. He's played it off to the left-hand side, and it's come back infield. Koch, the centre-back, into the centre circle, right-footed pass chipped out into the air to Bimbe. He's found a really nice infield ball to Faris Chibi. He's jinked away from one. He's then found Ngankam facing away from goal, right on the edge of the box. Here's Skiri, heavy touch, falls for Bimbe, whose shot is deflected up into the arms of Kelarus. And Aberdeen survive another waiver of attack. 2-1 Frankfurt. 80 minutes played here at the Waldstadion. Fans behind Kelarus's goal. So many colourful flags, black and white, blue, black and red. Such a colourful stadium, and Aberdeen have stood up to the challenge. They are trailing, but it's not been the rout that many might have expected given Frankfurt's quality and Aberdeen's poor form.
Yeah, I do believe that Aberdeen can be very proud of the performance they've put in, but I'm a little bit hesitant to say that at this moment in time with 9 minutes left, because as I've just said, I do think they've got the potential to score another goal, and it would go from a performance to be proud of to adding points to the board as well. Fingers crossed they can do that.
Well, Aurelio Buta is another change for Eintracht Frankfurt, as Omar Marmouche, the scorer of the first goal from the spot, makes way. Buta is a right wing back, really, so maybe a defensive change for bringing on a full back, a wing back for a striker. Frankfurt with a throw in to defend, long throw in from Devlin into the box. It's headed away out to Ansgar Knauf, who moves away from one on the left hand touchline and plays it up the touchline for Ngankam, who hit the deck. I think the ball was actually out on that far side as Ansgar Knauf was trying to get away from 3 or 4 white shirts. So it'll be another Aberdeen throw, and Nicky Devlin will try his best to fling this into the box again. That's what he does. It goes to the near post. Sockler flicks it on, but it's away by Pacho. Sent back in and then away again by Elias Skiri. Jensen's header is looking for Gartenmann, but it's out for a throw in on the halfway line.
It's pretty frustrating because the long throw from Devlin reaches its target, and Sockler, who wins the header pretty cleanly, but there's no one there. You're looking at Duke, you're looking at Hayes, and they've not even gambled on they've not even thought about the fact Sockler may win the header, and Frankfurt clear the ball easily. Not saying it would have necessarily led to an opportunity, but
long ball looking for Chaibi, and there's Gartenmann clear incidentally. Pauk have turned things around over in Finland against Helsinki. They now lead by 2-1, so the two kind of top seeds in this group, having not had it all their own way, are now both leading. It's Frankfurt and Pauk now leading by 2-1 in Group G in the Conference League.
Yeah, and if this, look, Pauk will be a very, very good side as well. I think going into the group, Frankfurt would have come in, given the league they play in, given their recent success in Europe, and Champions League level last year, relative success. I think they would have been favourites, and I think if this is the level Aberdeen need to compete against, then I think they can take far more belief than they came into the game with, probably into the next game.
Yeah, Aberdeen certainly look like a team comfortable when they're not expected to dictate the play, and they've been very good in their shape for the most part, but undone a couple of times for the goals. One from a set piece which will frustrate Barry Robson, but there's still time for a big goal. 84 and a half played. Long ball for Duke, doesn't get there. Koch gets there first and then goes up the line, and the flag's up. Ball was out. Aberdeen will have a throw in midway through the Frankfurt half, and Richard Jensen's asking for it. It's almost in line with the penalty area, actually.
Need a moment of magic from Duke. Thomas, he's been quiet all season, he's missed some chances. They need him tonight in these big games, and he's really been in the game at all since he's come on.
Here goes Jensen, winds up a long throw towards the penalty spot. Sockler goes up, doesn't win it, falls for Duncan on the edge of the area. Jensen has to go back in. McKenzie, I beg your pardon, tries to go back in, and Frankfurt eventually come away with it, try to get up the park. Connor Barron's won it back and he sloughed a ball with the right foot out towards Devlin. He's chasing it, he's going to get there, he's going to keep it in right on the byline. He's thinking it's a corner, it is a corner. He's left it to go out, and Aberdeen will have a corner. 5.5 played. Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1. Good chance.
Yeah, very good chance. Good tenacious play from Connor Barron in the midfield. He gets to the ball first twice. Nicky Devlin's sensible enough to know that it's going to be a corner.
The whistles sound round the Waldstadion. Duncan's corner, right into the 6-yard box. Jensen wins a header, and then there's a second header, but the whistle had gone for a free kick against one of the Aberdeen players, perhaps Jensen, who got up and won the ball. And Frankfurt will be able to just clear their box. And one of the players, whoever the player it was, he stayed down in the 6-yard box. 86 played. They'll be in no rush, of course, to get things moving, although we know that UEFA and, well, everywhere they're clamping down on time wasting, so everything will be added. And we'll see what goes up on the boards in 3.5 minutes' time.
Yeah, I mean, Barry Robson, he would have been slightly anxious going into this game that it could have went badly. I do believe that despite a great performance or good performance, I know they've been beaten 2-1. If it does remain this way, I genuinely think it's an opportunity missed to grab a point.
Here's Ryan Duncan, left-hand side. He's trying to get away from Patch, who's then put both hands on him, and he's won a free kick. Ryan Duncan, the home fans don't like it, but when you put your two arms on the back...
Yep, did look a foul.
And Aberdeen will have a free kick, left-hand side, just near the touchline, almost in line with the penalty area. That's another chance to get a ball into the box and test the Frankfurt defence. They've gone short to Barron, who's going to fire it into the near post with the right foot, doesn't beat the first man, and they're actually going to get away with it, Aberdeen, because the referee wasn't happy with the quickly taken free kick, so they're going to get to put it in again.
Madness for me to even to do that, because they've caused Frankfurt problems from these set plays, so why take one short? I'm not quite sure, but they are going to get a reprieve.
Here's Barron with the right foot, sails it in towards a penalty spot. It's over everyone, and it's still bobbling about in there, and eventually Frankfurt break. And now here comes Fares Chaibi. He's got support left and right, but Aberdeen get back in numbers. It's Abimbe whose control lets him down, and then Aberdeen have it on the edge of their own box through Jensen. He's passed it to Hayes, who's given it away as he looked for Rubizic, and Chaibi will pick up again. Thinks about the shot with the right foot. He does shoot, but it's miles over the bar. 2-1 Frankfurt. We've just hit the 88th minute.
Yeah, fantastic play there from Johnny Hayes and Nicky Devlin. Good defending. Hayes is a little bit slack and gives the ball away afterwards, but Hayes just holds him up, doesn't commit, gives Nicky Devlin time to come back in.
Here's Barron as Aberdeen goes short, crosses the halfway line. Now with McKenzie on the left-hand side, back to Barron. He's gone for the ball towards Sockler, but it only reaches Robin Koch, who heads it to Ngankam, the striker, in his own half. Barron puts him under a bit of pressure, but gets back to his feet and gives it off to Hrove Smolcic, the Croatian centre-back. And Frankfurt will just try and take the sting out of things, keep the ball a bit. As Sockler tries to harry Pacho, but he gets it away to Smolcic again. Applause all around the Waldstadion in Frankfurt as the fans get to their feet and applaud their team, but they still have work to do. The ball is at the feet of their goalkeeper, their Europa League winning hero Kevin Trapp. Plays it long, it's come back, and the loose ball's going to fall for Duke just towards the edge of the Frankfurt box. He's put a challenge in, he says he won the ball. The referee has blown the whistle, and it's for offside, I think, against Duke.
Yes, however, struggling to understand that one. It was Frankfurt who headed the ball back the pitch, so not quite sure why that was given as offside, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, well, Duke won the ball with his challenge, so, and the referee pointed the offside gesture doing it along the line, so the call has been made.
Regardless, they've got injury time now to try and sneak an equaliser, Aberdeen, and I do think over the course of the game, a draw is a fair result. I don't think that that's been unfair in Frankfurt. I think Aberdeen have performed well.
We're just about to hit the 90th minute, and we have 5 added minutes signalled on the fourth officials board. Aberdeen have 5 minutes to try and snatch what would be a huge point for them in their season. It's been bleak so far, but this has revived hope, even in defeat. But if they could find something to take a result back to Aberdeen. It would be monumental, and Barron gives it to Hayes, who's over halfway in the middle of the pitch. He's moving out towards the right-hand side. He reaches Devlin, who's going to give it back to Hayes down the touchline, but it was well read by Ansgar Knauf, who slides in and puts it out for a throw-in. And I think this may be long throw-in time. And Aberdeen, well, it's Connor Barron who's gone across, and he's going to leave it for Richard Jensen, who's going to go across to the right-hand side and try and fling this in. Aberdeen have everyone except Slobodan. Well, it's McKenzie and Gartenmann are the only ones, or Hayes actually, are the only ones not in the box. And they're going to fling this in. Jensen throws it in, met at the near post though by Knauf, headed away. It's going to be pounced on by Jack McKenzie, who takes a really sore one. He's clattered into him full body. McKenzie's still on the deck. Then Hayes runs forward away from two, and he's tripped in the middle of the pitch, and he gets a free kick in another dangerous position, 35 yards from goal, fairly central position. Another chance for Aberdeen in stoppage time to try and create something.
Yeah, that was a naughty challenge on Jensen, it really was. I thought it was a foul initially, he didn't give it. And that's the point Connor Barron's making to the referee now. Johnny Hayes does well to win the free kick second time around, but body checks him intentionally.
Yeah, it's McKenzie. It just barged into him. It was.
They're determined to make Jack McKenzie.
There's too many Aberdeen players with blonde hair at this distance. And
what an opportunity though, Thomas. I do believe they would get one more, and if they can take this one, Johnny Hayes will swing it in.
Yeah, it's going to be the left foot of Johnny Hayes. The jeers rain down from the stands as the home fans try and put Aberdeen off. Frankfurt hold the high line. It's the left foot of Johnny Hayes to the back post. It's gone all the way out to the edge of the box. It's going to be crossed in. Ryan Duncan's in the middle. It falls to the back post, and Sockler, and he smashed it wide. Esther Sockler puts his hands on his head. It fell to him at the back post. It wasn't an easy chance. He struck the volley, and it skews wide of Kevin Trapp's left-hand post. And was that the chance? Yeah,
you're right, Thomas. It wasn't particularly easy. It's a difficult skill. Can he take a touch? I don't know. Am I being too critical at this level, though? You've got to ask yourself these things. Comes to him at the back post. When the initial flick on, he tries to put his laces through it. He sacrifices accuracy for power, and it goes well wide in the end.
Aberdeen fighting to the death here, though, determined to try and snatch an equaliser. There was 5 minutes put up on the board. We've just played about 3 of those. Will Aberdeen get another chance? Long ball towards Duke, headed away by Koch, up towards halfway. Aberdeen trying to put the pressure on, but Ebimbe goes back to Smolcic, who puts the foot through it, which we've not seen too often tonight. Gartenmann header flicked on, and it's loose balls picked up by Ansgar Knauf, who's going to surge into the Aberdeen half on the left-hand side. He's held off one challenge. He's got Ebimbe for company, gives him the ball, and Ebimbe goes back to Smolcic, and Frankfurt will just try and take the sting at this game. They're not too interested in going forward.
Need more from Duke there. I mean, he's just let the defender head it 30-40 yards. He doesn't look particularly interested, which is a shame, because here he is now though.
Given away. Barron finds Duke. He's running up to the edge of the box, holds off one challenge. He gets the byline, left-footed cross, and it's gone behind Esther Sockler, inches behind him. He'd made the run looking for a tap in on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's just gone behind him. Another moment goes by for Aberdeen.
Yeah, timing of that.
Here Aberdeen go again. It's with the feet of Roos. He's launched this forwards, tick towards the final minute of the 5 added, and it's a free kick given against Esther Sockler, and that might be that from an Aberdeen point of view. Willie, your thoughts as PAOK have just gone 3-1 up in Helsinki?
Yeah, well, I think Barry making substitutions have turned the game round. Obviously, Frankfurt taking the foot off the gas a little bit as well, but I think it's been really positive substitutions with Barron, Hayes, Duncan and Sockler, and for a brief moment there we actually saw Duke and what he's capable of doing. A couple of good chances towards the end, but nothing come of it, which is disappointing.
Thanks, Willie. Willie Miller there back in Glasgow. We're ticking down the final few seconds. It's a throw in to Aberdeen on this near side, and the full-time whistle is gone. Well, Aberdeen have defied what many thought of them what many thought was possible after their poor start to the season, travelling over here to this intimidating arena, and they put in a really brave, spirited performance, but ultimately it hasn't been enough. They fell behind on 11 minutes when Abimbe was fouled by McKenzie in the penalty area. A penalty was given. Omar Marmoush stepped up and gave Frankfurt the lead with a coolly taken penalty. He'd be forgiven at that point for thinking it could be a long night for Aberdeen given the form they are in, but they did not buckle. They kept to their task. They were brave, they were bold, they defended stoutly, and they got themselves level. Miofsky and Devlin involved in the build-up. Cutback for Polvara, who fired high into the net from close range to bring Aberdeen level before the break, but the crucial moment came just after the hour mark in a disappointing fashion from an Aberdeen point of view. Corner in, near post header from Robin Koch across Roos and right into the bottom corner, and that got Frankfurt in front, and that's how it stayed, that's how it finished. Aberdeen, they kept at it till the end, till stoppage time. They were still creating chances. Sockler had one which he skewed wide, and then one which took cut back, which was inches behind him when he would have had a tap in if it went to feet. The Aberdeen players go across to the fans who are packed in the standing area behind. They are applauding the fans. The fans sing and applaud back. They're proud of their side's efforts, but it's ultimately ended in defeat in their Europa Conference League Group G opener. It's finished here in Frankfurt at the Waldstadion Arena. Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1.